crescendo goes
It goes
up,
up.
and then you have your G crescendo, and then you have your rallentando where you just like and then you slow it
Wow.
down. And then a tempo, and then we go back to tempo. The things that I've seen about you and read are so phenomenal. Wow, like
Mm.
this is such a big deal. And as the conductor, obviously you have to bring everything together. What can I do to make sure that you are as comfortable as what do you
Yes.
need? And I'm like, you are Alicia Keys. Just give me the
That's all I
score.
need.
That's all I need. I'm a conductor. Just give me the
Yes.
score so that I know what we're working on. But she was like, I need to make sure that before I speak to the arranger,
Mm.
I know what you need. This is a gift. The amount of things that I'm able to see, how I'm able to hear, how I know how to interpret things because I sit long enough with myself to be open
Yeah.
to whatever the spiritual realm is trying to say or trying to communicate, right? So I get it in that level or from that
Yeah.
perspective, right? So I can't answer it beyond the fact that it genuinely is a gift that is bigger
Mm.
than me.
But you do realize the sacrifice. Okay,
Mm.
oh. You could have.
Yo, library loans, hey? And
And
you could hear
of
them.
course you could.
My
The
goodness.
music was loud.
It's literally next to my faculty.
You see?
Yeah.
And you was like, damn.
Mm.
And if you were doing music, you would have been
Mm.
justified.
To go there.
Exactly.
Because I was just going to be like, I just want to hear, this is part of my like,
Ke wa tuta no to say.
yeah, are they off key? I just want to hear the performance. How are they
I
curating
like
this?
that. It's KO off key.
King David Studio podcast.
You know, once in a while you come across a young person who just blows you away. And I think I've just come across one. I saw her on TV. I saw her on some YouTube shows. And I said, hey, but now who's that girl? I have to talk to her.
Mhm.
And there's a name she doesn't like, so I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use it. Yeah, I'm just going to move right along.
Swiftly.
Ofentse Pitse, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm
I'm
great.
doing great.
I don't normally dress up for
Mhm.
this show. It's just one of those things, but I felt like I want to dress up for you.
Okay. Look at that. Whoa. I'm an influencer right now. This is influence.
Eh,
Okay. Get tax it,
And
lad.
then I went to
Get tax it, lad.
I'm
Okay.
struggling to take it off.
Okay.
All right. That's fine. So yeah, because this is
Welcome
what
to my world.
Yeah, this is how
Welcome
you
to
look, right?
definitely. Welcome to my world.
No, I thought about it when I was preparing for this.
Shucks.
For like, man,
I've never seen you in a suit.
I've never seen myself in a suit. No, I'm
Yeah.
lying. I have one or two.
Wow, twang.
And I get tags on
Kay bona.
like proper.
Fail, hempe ya teng.
No,
Hey.
yeah, like hempe, okay, Chile.
But it's still a tax. A tax is a tax is a tax.
Tax.
Is a tax is a
The
tax.
real one, in a little the buttons are black.
Yeah.
I fail, son.
Hade.
Fail.
No, but thank you very much. This is very, very in my world.
I wonder how do I look?
You look
How do I look?
phenomenal.
How do I
You're
look?
GQ man.
You look fair. Hey. Oshapu, man.
Kisiami.
How's your career?
Thus far.
Well, right now.
Yo, every platform.
Really?
There's a lot of, an outpouring of appreciation, love.
Wow.
I'm going to show this to my kids. I've never
Wow.
thought in my lifetime I'll see someone like you. And this is not just the diaspora, this is across the world.
Really?
So I've just been mind blown by the fact that we're here.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Did you see it coming?
I didn't. I just wanted to be an architect. Really. I just studied architecture and I was like, I'm going to be an architect. I'm going to design really cool buildings, maybe travel the world.
Yeah.
And conducting was never really my default.
Is it taking more of your time now?
Look at where I am.
So,
It definitely
well,
is.
we can talk about architecture.
We could.
We can, absolutely.
Yeah, we could.
So you studied architecture.
I studied architecture all the way to master's level. And so I went to Wits.
Completed your master's.
Hey.
So you've been up and down
I
that
literally,
stage.
yes, I did the whole all-nighters, pulling long nights in the studio, being frustrated, wanting to drop out every 2 weeks because you're just
Tell me
like, you know
about
what, let me just go back home. Because what am I doing here, right?
And,
So I went the whole thing.
and you didn't stop.
I didn't. I couldn't.
Well, great answer. Let me hear why.
I couldn't because I knew that there was a responsibility that my mom is taking me to school.
Is
and
that ever
expecting
a
a
good enough reason?
degree.
Well, but you delivered the junior degree, isn't it?
Yeah, but then junior degree can only take you so far, right? And I had ambitions greater than that, right? Again,
Mm.
overly ambitious young girl, right? So I just wanted to not just be she just has an undergrad.
Yes.
Hmm.
Because architecture is not easy.
Oh no, it's one of the hardest degrees, right?
Yes,
Because
it's
you
like
are
actual science. It falls in that category of
exactly.
stuff.
I mean, it's under the Faculty of Engineering and the Built Environment, right? So you can understand that engineering and the built environment, you're breaking
And
things apart to put them together in
do you know what I
architecture.
mean?
Yeah.
You did it, finished it.
Hmm.
How much of your time does it get now?
It gets my time probably after midnight, right?
When what
After I
happens?
do these things, I mean, my creative times are there after midnight to 2:30. So when I get like these grand ideas and I'm on
Yeah.
LinkedIn and I'm reading
Oh.
something, I'm like, parametric architecture, and things pull me, and I'm just like, ooh, how about I do a sketch? So, but
Ah.
otherwise, it really, I don't have time for architecture right now.
And you've done
Yeah,
it to master's level.
to master's
And
level.
now it's just a degree on the wall. If your mom has put it on the wall,
Mm-hmm.
it's pictures. I bet you go room dividing of you, and that's it.
I mean,
Have you
in
practiced? Have you practiced?
yes. I
Give-
used to be a very good I think not even used
I
to.
like
I'm
that.
a really
I like
good.
that you say
I'm
used
quite a
to. You've
badass
moved on.
architecture. I'm quite badass in the architecture field.
How much of it have you done? Like years wise.
So let me give you context, right?
Yes.
So I did my undergrad, which is Bachelor of Architecture Studies degree,
Yeah.
2012,
Okay.
right? Graduated, I think 2016, and then
Okay.
after that, 2018 and 19, right? 18, 19, and 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think after my mom's passing, I was like, "Ish, let me go back to
Ooh.
school and finish this
Oh,
this degree."
you're still saying mama.
Because it was for her, right? Remembering all the sacrifices, remembering how she had to really. I saw her sew her clothes together because we cannot afford to buy new clothes just so that Ofentse can go to a good school. So for me, it was
Yeah.
I could not. I don't really believe in taking flowers to the cemetery, and
You
I was
believe in
like.
doing it other
Yeah, I
ways.
believe that
Yeah.
this is the greatest honor. So I
Wow.
just was like, let me just go the distance for
And
this.
then masters and then you
Yeah,
get a job.
masters. I've been working for some of the best architecture firms. I worked for Booker and Mann and Partners when they created the Discovery Building in Sandton.
What? You were working for
I
them
was
during that
working,
time?
yeah. So I can tell you all about the Discovery Building because we worked
Does it
extensively.
really have like a dialogue?
Ah!
I'm lying. I'm talking rubbish.
Who told you that? Hey, what's
What stands out about that building? So I've never
I
been. I've just driven past.
mean, it has like this pronounced entrance, right, which prioritizes the pedestrian, right,
Okay.
which is like a part of
Us
the
walking
urban.
in.
Yeah, so it's part of the urban design where now
Yeah.
buildings are not supposed to house a lot of cars, and we're trying to
Oh yes.
promote people
Okay.
actually walking to work, cycling, and whatever. And it has the biggest basement, one of the biggest basements in Africa, and then it has like a Green Star facade, and so
What is
that
a green
facade.
star facade?
A like an energy efficient
Oh.
facade.
So what makes it efficient?
It like it uses natural means
Okay.
for creating like sunshades, for controlling ventilation. So there's those things that
Jeez.
mechanically does not need a lot of things.
For me, this is so fascinating that it's such a huge part of your academia, and yet it's now it's like me and economics.
Oh, you're not doing that?
Nah, but I only did junior degree, and I did a master's in communications,
Yeah.
and other things, but I still, and then I do this. You
This is
see?
what you love more, though.
Yeah, and play music.
Yes.
Yeah, I can do that all day. Yeah, I get preoccupied by it. Put
Yeah.
me in a studio with music, I'll play for hours.
I mean, I like these vinyls.
There's vinyls everywhere.
reminds me
No,
of
there's lots.
a time.
Really? Oh, your daddy. I bet you.
My granddad,
Your
right? I
granddad.
mean, but also my uncles as well, because my granddad passed away when I was like 18 months old. So
Okay.
my uncles used to collect vinyls and all that. And growing up with my mom, who used to go to the kitchen party.
Oh.
You probably know what that is,
Your
right?
mom little clever.
Ah!
Now Penduga.
Udra.
Where's the Penduga?
Nele clever,
Get the
anyway.
Selasadi please.
Everything leading to the crossbands, like those, what are the cuffling? What do they call them?
What do they call those? I'm not sure.
And then that's a Pemego
Oh.
Zone 15.
Jeez.
It's a Pimlico Zone 15.
Your mom
So
is like proper.
listen,
Did,
clever
did, did
Engwe.
you take anything from her?
I took a lot from her. I mean, there's the overarching things like resilience, persistence, and just being limitless. Like,
Mm.
there was, I didn't have the easiest childhood, right? But my mom would make pap
Mm-hmm.
likhabechi feel like we're at Spur.
Oh,
You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's like the best meal in the
everything was an
world.
experience, even though I was just like, shucks, we don't have a lot, man. Like, what's happening
Did
here?
you notice that there was not a lot?
Because I had my cousins now who I could be like, oh, they have roller skates and all these
Oh,
things, and they have
no.
Game Boy, and I'm just like, you're comparing myself to that, and I was like, that's when I saw that there's not much happening here.
That's the thing about poverty is when you
Mm.
can compare it, and then you notice it. Because when you have
Yeah.
nothing to bounce it off,
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
sharp, you actually fall in love with cabbage,
Mm.
and you want
Oh,
to.
it was the best thing because now you can put like cayenne pepper, and then noodles, there's an aromat, and then,
I don't know that.
there's a tomato sauce and
I
all of
don't
those
know that.
things.
We had
Okay.
cheese and bologna. I'm
Ah!
lying. I'm so lying. Let me tell you what we had.
Confirm location.
Let me tell you what we had.
Hmm.
Fish, tinned fish.
Yeah.
My mom made it in different ways.
Mhm.
In many
My mom
different
made that
ways.
bull brand, man. Like,
I hate that stuff. That I don't
she
enjoy.
made it like I only believed after when I saw her opening it. I was like, oh, kitchen stuff. Because it felt like it was the real thing for the longest time, right? And she knew how to cook.
Oh, you
So,
thought the meat was the real thing
yeah.
until she opened it.
Until I was like, what is this thing that you're opening? She was like, Kentucky Hetang every day. I'm like, kitchen stuff. She was like, yeah, Fin's kitchen stuff.
Skis.
Yeah.
You were born in Mabopane. Is it during Putatswana days?
Can I put that one if it I mean, Putatswana was still under Mangope, right?
Yeah. Technically,
Yes.
in the early 90s.
I mean, born in 1992.
Yeah,
So,
just.
yeah, I mean, also the housing in my area. So they would talk a lot about Mangope, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it was still under Putatswana. I think after it only changed much later, right? So I
Yes.
knew about the whole Putatswana era and
What
how
do they say?
Mabopane
Let me
was.
hear to a young person.
I
what
mean,
did,
they
what
will
did you
always
hear?
speak about Ntlutsa Mangope,
Barring,
right?
are they
But in
better?
4 room.
Okay, well, we have
So
that
it's
too.
like that's the greatest thing he did for Mopani.
Did he put tar road on the street?
He did. There's also that stadium, Mangop,
Oh, yeah,
Lucas
Odi,
Mangop.
that funny stadium that's
exactly.
facing up.
There's Odi, there's also Marula Casino, and then there was Central City. So I mean, under that
You call it
administration,
so nicely. You say Murula Kasiri. Murula
Ke
Sani.
Marula Sane.
Yes. You are so
Ke
nice.
Marula Sane.
So,
Opposite
yeah.
ko Shoprite.
So, Omotop Mabopane through and
Ke
through.
I mean, not through and through because of how I was always in my mom's car and going to whichever place she was taking me to. I didn't really have much friends in my street. So it literally like
Really? You were that kid?
yeah, I guess ke kena ka Mkoleng, go to wherever we're going, and then after that I go to school, which is far away. So get back
Yeah.
home, you have homework to do. You don't really have time for the tea.
No friends in your street?
I mean, we knew of each other, but also I was not
yeah.
good, gadi, teeny, and all of these games. I was autistic,
It's
so I
not like
could
your
not
mom.
aim.
It's not like your mom deliberately
I think she did.
stopped you
Oh, she
from-
was strategic, and she
Do you
was
thi-
smart.
Do you think
as
it
well.
worked out for you?
Yes.
Tell me why you say that.
Because I mean, coming from Mawapani, there is no obsession of success, right? There was
Okay.
no person that I could look at and be like, I want to be like that. So because she was very
Yeah.
strategic about giving me all the coloring books, the pens that I wanted, the magazines that I could cut and paste, that occupied a lot of my time.
Did she
right?
spot the artistic side of you soon?
Early, and even
Yeah.
her friends would say, "Tidi, turns we sang at school," because I was drawing hectic stuff from a tender age, and
Wow.
then she was like, "Okay," and her friends would be like, "There's just something about this kid. There's just something about this
else.
kid. Yeah, there's just something going on. So please take her
Wow.
to a very good school. She needs to go to an art school."
You didn't have a typical township upbringing, even though you grew up in the township.
What is a typical township upbringing?
Well, one, you don't know how to play the tea.
Skop the ball. I don't know.
You see?
I would hear them play outside though.
Can't believe you.
While watching
Didn't
Days
you
of Our
want-
Lives.
didn't you go-
I looked at the fact that my mom made it very clear that education is the thing that's going to emancipate you in this house.
Okay.
So even if you're hearing them play outside, but your homework, where are we standing with your homework?
Social skills.
Hey, no,
Social
for her it
skills.
was like that's second age. So for me,
True.
I knew how to prioritize education very early on. I was like, okay, cool, they're playing, but I need to get through this work.
Where did she get that state of mind?
Definitely from my grandparents. So my
Yeah.
grandparents were staunch academics, and there's always been this pressure in my family of how educated you are.
Okay.
Right?
Really?
Yes,
That's good
because from my
pressure, though.
granddad, my grandparents' parents, there was always this overarching, you need to be educated. That's how we will actually respect you. Speak well, right? Know
Yeah.
something, read well, and
Wow.
then don't just be a person, because otherwise, why do you have the family name?
So you achieved their goals. Then.
Ish, at what cost?
You speak well. You've
Okay,
achieved.
but I didn't play Scop the ball.
Yay. You
So
don't know
now
the party. You only teeny, are we the next?
people are beating my ass at the arcade games. That's
We have
like,
one here.
okay, you
We'll-
probably win. We
we'll-
can't bet on it though.
We'll play Pac-Man and see if.
Ooh, I can try Pac-Man
Yeah.
because it's more of like a mind thing.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
yeah.
I can take Pac-Man.
We'll see. We'll see. We
I
have
can
a
take
machine
Pac-Man.
here.
All right, I can take Pac-Man.
But how much education did your mom
Mhm.
do? How much did she study a bit?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, CD. She was a teacher.
Okay.
Setswana and geography. Go Rakgotso High School in Hammanskraal. She graduated was it Hebron Tech?
Okay.
Yeah.
Then there was these teachers' colleges.
Yes. So now it's a form 4. What?
Yo, you're exposing my people. Those are all my
Nearly
people.
form 4, ne?
Form 4 nearly stand at 9. That makes it
Sure.
grade 11.
What form? I mean, she would always brag about this. She's not just a normal teacher. We live from whatever. I'm just like, my mom would drag people. Oh, that I pride.
She was bragging about that.
Like she was bragging about the highest qualification in teaching.
Yes.
Like whenever she'd be in social settings, I'd be like, oh, gosh, here we go again.
She
So
was a proper
she-
teacher.
educated,
Yes.
Setswana and geography high school.
Wow.
Come
So there
on.
there are kids who look at her. Did she teach long?
She did.
Yeah.
My mom taught until 2014, until she 50.
Yes.
50, 49.
So-
So a very long time.
So their kids would look at her and say,
Mm.
she's the reason this, and she's because teachers do that in a
Definitely.
community of people.
Mhm.
Wow, man, I'm proud of
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
You say little about daddy.
He was
almost
not part of
nothing.
my life. Like, I don't
Where
know the
was this
gent.
guy?
What means Majita?
Hey, so you know.
No.
Do you know where he is now?
I mean, he literally lived like 20 minutes from my house, but I never met the guy.
How did you find out?
My mom would tell me about this guy. No, like he stays in this area. And I'd be
He
like, okay.
never said there he is.
Never bumped into the guy. I know how he looks, like how he looked in
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, never.
1992,
Yes.
91. But yeah,
it.
I can't. Maybe Umakama next door. Maybe he's your neighbor.
It's possible. Very possible.
But yeah, I never had a relationship with him.
And growing up, never needed to, because you know when you're raised by your mom alone,
Mhm.
and you go to school and kids are dropped off if that was your setting,
Oof, yeah.
and then there's
Mm.
daddy dropping off, and
Mm.
didn't you have that preoccupation? Yane, but where's my dad?
I mean, I felt it because, I went to the better schools. So there'll be like my school concerts and
Yeah.
you seeing parents now cheering their kids on and you're just like, shucks, man, I'm seeing two people here, and you
Where's
become aware of
mine?
the family units early on,
Yeah.
right? So it stung very early on. And I was like, shucks, I don't have that. Right. Also because my uncles were present fathers. So I would see
Oh.
how my uncles were in my cousins' lives and I'll be like, shucks, this would be really nice to have, right? But then I did not really question why he's not in my life until I think I got to mature. Because for the longest time, I wanted to prove that I'm worth it. So I took the difficult subjects in school and I thought maybe he's going to find out and be like, I'm proud of you.
Really?
And that never came. Yeah, I took math, science, maths, that paper.
No, seriously, you're not joking. That
I
was part
kid
of the
you
reason.
not. Until I
Wow.
got to matric and I actually realized that this guy's not coming.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
And a conversation with your mom about it?
I mean, my mom was very open. Like, she told me why they divorced and
Yeah.
all that.
Oh,
And
they were
the way-
married and all.
Yes, they were
Hey.
married.
Hey, bana.
Batong.
Hey,
It
Diman.
was thing. It was a thing. So
Diman.
my mom would always tell me about she was very open about their marriage and his addiction to gambling and all those things and the
Oh.
divorce and she
Murula
would
san.
Waibona. My mom would bump into him when she was going to withdraw konto Standard Bank there. You see, Komrula
Yeah,
Sundays that
Kunaledi,
it's
yes. So now,
and then I would never be with her. Like, I don't know how the universe worked. I would never be with her whenever she would bump into him.
what would happen? They
She'd
would-
be like, how are the kids? And my mom was just like, for what? What are you asking me?
Jeez, man.
They're okay, and what?
This dude.
Look at me now.
You know?
Oh, this is a checkmate.
Do you look like? Who do you look like?
I mean, as a kid, I looked more like my dad, apparently.
Yeah.
But as I get older, I apparently look like my mom
Yeah.
also.
Humans do morph
Yeah,
into...
but then the forehead get busy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my
PZK.
mom.
Oh,
My
so,
mom.
Oh, so the surname
No, it's my
stays.
mom's surname.
Yes.
Yes. Biti is my mother.
Post the marriage, and the divorce rather, you went then back to the maiden side of the family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the
Yeah.
baholo ba rile, boa.
And also my grandparents were very like, They were very protective, and then they're like, listen, if you're not gonna partake, then what are we doing?
Why do we have your
Yeah,
name
so
in
hence
the yard?
the change, and thank God, like imagine now. I like Pizzi more.
Obviously know his name, his
I
surname.
I do.
And you never used it, not a day.
I did use it when I was younger, and hence why I just felt like, sure, why am I using this man's name, right? I'm achieving. I get certificates
your
every year. Yeah, like my mom allowed me to make my own decision,
What
right? Because we would have the conversation. I was like, there's no point. Why are we doing this?
Jeez,
What's the
man.
reason?
And you never felt a need to say, hey, man, I'm about to change this thing. Nothing.
To my mom or to him?
To your dad. No
Why?
need to call. No need to see. Huh,
Nah.
amazing.
Nah, I'm an acceptor of things in life.
And your siblings?
I mean, I have an older sister,
Yeah.
right? But also with my older sister, our relationship is based on the fact that she lived with my uncle
Okay.
and my cousins when she was she 7 or 9 until matric. So
Whoa.
our relationship is based on whenever she would come home during holidays.
Oh.
So we don't have like a tight-knit relationship. So I would say mostly I grew up as though I was the only
child in the house.
Yes.
And protected.
My mom nasabatle nix.
Do you think she did a good job?
I think she did an impeccable job.
Look at you. If you have to say so yourself.
If I do say so myself, she did an impeccable job.
Wow, man.
Not having much.
Yes.
Come on.
Describe this not having much scenario.
So, I mean, not having much, I'm saying you can understand that, and in that era of educators, they were not getting much.
No, not
at all,
Yes.
right?
And I can't even imagine the Putatswana version of the story. and I don't. I just don't
I mean,
know.
and like the payslip you got district, and the payslip comes, and it's not a lot, and you have to take a kid to school. You know, you have to pay off debt from the divorce and all that. So,
Oh.
and now you're trying to take your kid to a school that you can't even afford because you have so much faith in the fact that she's gonna do better.
So she sacrificed.
Oh, she did. So by not having much, I knew my mom would get paid end of the month, right? Go to the bank, right? The debit orders would go mad.
Listen
She
to
would
you.
reverse the money, right? Sometimes she would get like 23 rand after all the debit orders. That's just how much debt she I don't know how she did it. But then also, you know how black mothers have this thing, they will sell bo Justine, bo Table Charm,
Bon.
bo Avon, bo Red Door, Aromatics.
The bill. You have to throw in the
I'm
bill
saying-
in there.
They will do all these things where they're selling stuff to just make ends meet. So my mom was very tactical, and also she spoke well. I mean, you see me.
Look, it's hair. Am I seeing a replica? here?
Yes. You see me. I can sell ice to the winter and find hell.
Wow. So
she was exactly like
that.
that. Yeah.
Incredible.
Mhm.
And you know, for me, it's the sacrifice, the vision. Was which school do you go to?
The first school I went to was Hagdoren Boom.
Yeah, already it
A
sounds
tweetalige school.
better than Tswelopele
Than
Primary.
Morwesele
There you
High
go.
School.
It already sounds better.
So I went to my primary school was Hagdoren Boom.
Yeah.
Then I went to Princess Park, and then I went to Pro Arte Elfin Park.
Listen to how cool they sound. They all sound so.
My goodness.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Mhm.
You know, the vision to take you there, she knew what she was doing.
Oh, she did.
I like her.
I like her too.
Do you miss her?
All the time. Especially now because, you know, the celebration is quite silent. My mom was loud.
Oh.
My mom could be there, go for a stop or Dumelang, lekay, bathong, you know, that was
Yes.
nele osiditlar, you know. So it's like I know what she would have said, exactly how she would have said it,
Yeah.
and I have not been hearing that.
Esa.
Yeah.
Tell me the words.
She would probably be like, ngwanaka, like khotlo bulega, like she would always say khotlo bulega, and I'd be like, but
Yeah.
when, you know? So I
Yeah.
think this was going to be like khotlo bulega type of moment for
You
her.
described it in a way that I've never heard before when you said the celebration is quiet, and that's how you feel about
Yeah.
it. Do you find that there's a celebration right now in your life?
Definitely, right? There's this dynamic story of this young black girl from Komapapaniko Extension X when I was TD who ended up being, you know,
A
on the world
conductor.
stage and be
Yes.
handpicked by Alicia Keys to come conduct a very important song. So the celebration is there, but I
Yeah.
don't have, you know, the ultimate love of my life saying I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah. Singing along, dancing along.
Calling everyone kanto, ka wara wara, you know, ka advance.
She wish she would have done.
Yeah, she was gonna go on that advance and call everyone.
Kari WhatsApp group.
Hey, I sent that voice note, but don't show me. Fensa shoe, you know, so
Wow.
I really miss that.
Wonder,
Yeah.
you know, but don't worry, she's with you. If you believe in ancestors, she's all right.
Definitely.
She's got you. She's
Yeah.
part of the story in a lot of ways. And your high school years, was the dream clear? And I'm talking about the architectural dream, because the music dream was something else.
I mean, that happened organically. I had no idea
That
I would
it'll
have,
happen.
like, it would happen. I mean, architecture, it only became clear when I got to matric, right? I wanted to be an artist. I just wanted to draw and paint.
Thank God you didn't. Look at now, there's
Yeah,
mid-Jenny.
I just wanted to
I can
become
just
like
type a picture and
Jan,
it appears.
you know, Jan,
Yes.
like David and, you know, your Monets, your Malays,
Jeez, that's
your
how you saw your life.
Michelangelos. Yeah, and then my uncle, who was like a collector of art, he was like, "Hey, artists die poor." I was like, "Ah." And then I was like, and then he was like, "You better take something that you know you can fall back on." I was like, "Okay, I'm good with arts. Kind of good with languages. I'm good with the maths. Where can we go?" And architecture
Yes,
was
kind of
the
brings
option.
them together.
Yeah, because Top Billing also sold me a dream because I was I was watching too much Top Billing. I was like, I think I want to do that.
So that housing segment.
Hey!
Wow.
So Thursday, Sunday, I was watching Top Billing and it elevator pitched to me.
Do you
that
know,
I can be an
it
architect.
made me want to have a big house.
Yeah.
That's what it did.
Yeah.
Like, I
Corner
wanna have
house.
I want to have a top billing house. I want them to call me and say, we want to come and film
definitely.
your house.
So that was what got me sold into wanting to be an architect.
Yeah.
It was Top Billing.
Wow, imagine that. It's such a small moment.
Yeah, it was Top Billing.
And you decided to pursue it. You went to varsity and they said, yeah, she's good enough. Were you one of those kids that did well at matric?
I did well in matric, right? But then I didn't get into university the first time around, right? Because I really wanted to do architecture. The other option was civil engineer, but I was like, I was going to get bored in civil engineering. Imagine if I was like a civil engineer. So they took me for engineering, but architecture is so difficult to get into architecture. They only take 70 in first year.
That's it. They don't
By the time you graduate, it's like 40, 30 of you. So you know each other, you know each other's parents, because it's such a small group in architects. So they didn't take me the first time.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, Ish, what am I going to do this year? Jeez. And I was like, Ish, I'm going to try again. So my mom would always be like, no, try. Like she was just the person to push me to continuously try. Right. So I was like, okay.
But what were you doing in trying again? Were you just applying again or improving your results? What were you doing?
I wanted to still have like a fresh mind. So I was like, Ish, let me just go back to like a school institution where I can make sure that I still remember that's maths and I still remember the science, right? So maths and physics, I was like, let me just do maths and physics and then I'll reapply again, right? So that's what I was doing in that year out. Yeah.
And you didn't feel like it was a wasted year in some form?
Not really. I believe my mom raised me to believe that every single thing happens for a reason. So I even saw that as, okay, maybe not my time right now, but when it definitely comes, I'll make it memorable. Like I'll definitely remember that this is now my time.
Was it a big celebration that you were finally accepted? Did it
matter
that much?
That's when she called everyone.
That's when you saw her true colors.
That's when I knew, every big thing, everyone gets called, ne?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And now, you say at some point you wanted to give up.
Yeah.
Was that the master's level or junior degree level?
I mean, I always wanted to give up in architecture. That degree is I think every second day I was like, okay, who do I have to email to deregister? Is it the dean? Is it the
What?
faculties? Is it the School
Did
of
you ever find
Architecture?
out? Did you ever find
I
out?
didn't. It was just a thing. I was like, but I can't go back home because giving up now, it's going back to Mopani.
Yeah. And you know that life.
And what option do I have if I go back to
Yes.
Mopani? So I
So
just
which
had to
varsity
pull
did you
through.
go to?
Wits.
Jeez.
To
It's
Wits.
like up the road from here.
Yeah, I went to Majita Island.
David Webster. Is there a place like that in that campus?
There's a Webster place. Is it David or Daniel? Is it David
Nah, it
Webster?
sounds like David. Somebody's going to correct us. I bet you it's David.
But I was at main campus, John Moffat building.
Oh,
John Moffat. There by
okay,
the
right
pond.
here.
You see it there by the pond.
I see it. Exactly
Yes.
that.
I was
Wow.
there. That was my faculty.
Did you enjoy those years though, as a student?
I mean, the sad part is that you would always hear what's happening at the library lawns.
Okay.
Boy, AKA boy, KO were performing there on Friday.
Oh no.
You were busy, doing sketches and building models, and you're just
Hey.
like, I can't even go there because I have a crit session
Yes.
with my tutor at like 3. So you just like, so a lot of sacrifices again. The topic of sacrifice.
The moments
And we've
again
always
where-
been sacrificing. Hey,
Who do I write a letter to?
who
register?
do I like? Who needs this letter?
Oh no.
Yeah. So I enjoyed I think because I knew how niche architecture is,
Yeah.
I loved learning it because I knew that I was always going to be unique within this space.
That's why I'm
There's
surprised.
not a lot of people.
That's why I'm surprised. Look,
Mhm.
listen to that statement.
Mhm.
Niche, not a lot of people, and it's now hanging on the wall. That's why it's.
But I still use it in music.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Because I'm curious to say, yes, someone who's an actual scientist.
Yeah.
Yes, someone who's an architect. But now, right now, she's playing music. You get my point.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and even the way I remember when I was preparing for this chat, I said I'm going to spend time on this lost degree.
But was it really lost?
No. Well,
Okay,
be patient with me
alright.
because your life is
Take
still
your time.
long. Your
Take your
life is
time.
still long.
Take your time.
And you're likely to go back to it in whatever form.
Yes.
And as you say, you find a way to use it in your music. You'll
Definitely.
explain that to us.
Mhm.
But you do realize the sacrifice. Okay,
Mm.
you could have.
Yo, library loans, hey? And you could hear them.
Of course you could.
My goodness.
The music was loud.
It's literally next to my faculty.
You see?
Yeah.
And you was like, damn.
Mhm.
And if you were doing music, you would have been justified.
to go there.
Exactly.
Because I was just going to be like, I just want to hear, this is part of my like,
Okay, what you can do to say.
yeah, are they off key? I just want to hear the performance. How are they curating
like
this?
that. It's KO off key.
I want to hear how they're curating this.
Cafe.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
How are the acoustics?
But you don't regret those years. You can't,
No,
possibly.
They made me who I am, hey.
Yeah.
I mean, Joburg will open your eyes, yeah?
Did
I mean,
it?
coming from a kind of,
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Joburg.
Did it open my eyes?
ah,
When I get some moms go Koning.
go guy.
Go to a stadium.
Ah,
Did it open my eyes? Nothing really.
really?
Nothing's happened. I'm waiting for my eyes.
Ah, I think your time. You still waiting for your eyes to be open?
No. Nobody should open my eyes.
Okay.
Kishab.
Oh, sharp. I feel like it did open my eyes.
For example, when you say
Um,
that statement, what do you mean?
Have you been to Mopani?
Yes, many times.
West side, come on, Vix.
Actually, there's a girl I liked.
Oh, one thing about the girls from Mopani.
There's a huge
Let
circle.
me tell you,
Let me
you?
Let me give you direction, Yana. You carry on from go transfer Soshanguve. You carry on straight.
Yeah.
You pass the stadium
On the
right.
Mhm.
I think you cross over a bridge
Correct.
and then you turn left.
Aha.
And you carry on.
Yeah.
There's a big circle.
Yes. So the big circle, it's
Somewhere
either you
there.
go to the right, which is go Medical, see?
second exit. If there was no circle, I would have gone
One.
straight.
you go to the C, block
Yeah.
C.
Yeah, that was a
Okay.
girl.
You
there.
have a story.
There was a girl.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to a poor girl.
Mm.
Ke kopane le yena ko main lane.
That's what I taxi, ne?
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't, she went far though to
Mm.
shop.
Mm.
Pretty far.
Mm.
I don't know what she was doing
Mm.
there. Gave me her numbers and I went visited her. I didn't have a car, so it looked like somebody got taxi.
Sure.
And it didn't go anywhere.
Ofulile ko kaya go
What? I
open space.
don't even remember.
Shucks, man.
It was
No, but the girls in Mopani, oh my goodness, premium. Excellent choice. I don't blame you.
Yeah, I didn't go
I don't
anywhere.
blame you.
She ghosted me before the word even existed. The word ghosting didn't exist, and she ghosted me.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay though.
Okay, I'm
Look
sorry.
at me.
Look at checkmate.
I'm taking your line. I must admit.
Checkmate. Mm-hmm.
So now you are. I'm thinking about your upbringing, and as you put it, it was not the best in the world, the environment.
But the love was the best.
Aha.
Ah.
You know? That's the thing about, and I think sometimes we hold on to that a little too hard and too tightly. And it's a debate we're having in my family right now about holding on to the township more than we should. We call it our roots, and yet we were placed there by all sorts of governments who felt we belong here. Where else we had access to the whole country, which is what we have now, but we're told we belong here. And we've embodied that so much, and we call it our roots now. It's like, really? These are our roots? These are lousy roots then.
Yeah.
These are small roots with tiny yards.
I mean, the township typology is really messed up in comparison.
You see what I mean? But yet we call them our roots. And I wonder about those roots.
Yeah.
I wonder if our minds are still locked in those tiny little yards and we call them our roots. Trust me, it's a debate in my family.
Yeah.
It's just carry on.
An entire theoretical underpinning just on that.
You see what I mean? Give me the breakdown of studying architecture. What are the you can't draw all the time.
You do. What do you mean?
All the time?
You draw. I can sketch for you now.
Something.
Yes.
Like Nkunyan.
Hey, architecture all the time.
Nkunyan. I can't believe you draw all the time.
Which house am I drawing? Mangope or what?
You decide. You decide. Creative freedom. Let's see it.
Okay.
Are you? Is your shot good?
Architecture. Like a basic house has a garage, right? And then garage has access into the house. Maybe something like that, right? I'm gonna get to my point just now.
I will draw two.
All right.
Then we'll compare.
Okay. Have toilet here, bathroom here, and then you have your rooms here.
Yeah, I think mine will be better than yours.
Are you serious? Okay.
100%. I don't even doubt it. You're not a blind, you know?
Okay.
Not really natural. Not really natural.
You have your door here.
Not really natural.
Staircase going in. Have your kitchen here. Lounge room more.
Okay.
Do that. An entire kitchen here. Maybe do this actually.
It takes too long. It can be good.
There's no such thing. Have like a wall feature or whatever here. And you have your kitchen doing that. Cupboards over here. And then you have like your kitchen island.
Yeah.
Chairs. Right. And then over here will be like your lounge space.
Look at that. Just drawing couches.
Couches. And then here.
That looks like a TV stand.
Yeah, it's like I'm literally drawing you brick wall thickness and everything. Right? And then you have a ramp here going into your garage.
Yeah.
And then over here you have like columns, like these nice things that they like doing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then obviously your garage, itlabaluma, two cars.
Yeah.
Your X6 and your Audi. Right? And then here you have like bedroom 1.
Yeah, there's.
And then you have like bedroom 2. They'll have like a sliding door going into your patio.
Wait, okay, I can see where the house is facing.
Right? And then you have like this pronounced entrance.
Yes.
Staircase going in. And then you have like this entire glass
incredible
curtain wall. And then you have your stairs over here. Stairs are going to the double
stove.
There we go. Stairs are going to upstairs. And then over here, you have like your nice pool.
Yeah,
you have like your nice pool, and then maybe more you have like a wall feature of sorts on top.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, essentially you have a house that does something like that.
So
So
I
more
can't
is your
believe you
garage.
drew an entire
I'm
plan.
an guys architect. Like when I tell people that I'm a badass architect, they don't understand. And it's
No, no, a joke.
no, like it's
Because now you're giving me a different you're giving me a different perspective.
yes, right. And then so this is kitchen, nice kitchen window, and then you have like this feature wall. There'll be like a and can we just do because I'm doing a perspective.
Yes.
Like a nice feature wall, and you're going into so here you have your stairs going into your building,
Uh-huh.
and then you have this entrance yard glass,
This is a fancy house.
right?
So
Entrance
this
yard glass.
perspective is that
Yes,
just now we're seeing it more big.
exactly. And then
As they call it, a facade.
yeah, you have like a double door, and then this is like glass, and then this is like stone cladding,
Uh-huh.
right? And then more you have like a band on your garage,
Yeah.
like a band anyana. And then over here maybe planter
Jeez.
more with flowers.
Someone is going to copy this house.
This is like a doodle. I'm trying to do this as fast as possible. And then yeah, and then you have your second floor, right?
Mm.
And then second floor you have your balcony here. Goes all the way. Maybe this thing should go all the way up here. And then balcony, then you have your rooms here at the top.
Incredible.
And then you have like your roof. Maybe it's like a monopitch roof that does that. And then yeah, something like that.
Let's compare.
This one, Mangope. So
let's
is this a door or
It's a garage door.
it's just like a bicycle
That's
door?
a garage door. That's the front door. My front door is a double door.
So when a double door how if it a garage?
Yeah, well, the scale.
Kya kgosi
I had,
moske.
I had a scaling issue.
Okay. That's all right. That's all right. At least
look at yours. It's so detailed.
This is a quick sketch. This is
Yeah,
what
but
is
well,
detail.
compared to mine.
I'm an architect, guys. This is what I learned.
I'm an architect.
This is what I learned. Yeah.
Amazing, eh?
Mm-hmm.
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Do you sometimes want to do it?
I
on the
do
side?
architect. I freelance.
No. So you do freelance?
Yes.
So on that software?
I can design this entire thing.
On that
for you.
software? Like,
Hey, yeah.
okay, then go for projects.
I do design.
Do you believe in Boloi?
Yo. I would say no.
Tell me why you say that.
I would say no, but then when I go on TikTok and I see certain things, I say yes.
Do you know why I'm asking?
Why?
I think one Louis Legaditena. Ega boy,
Sure.
Mahafi.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine says one Louis Lega never perdu overall.
Yes. But never contract.
I want to see them around me.
But contract.
Yeah.
Contract.
It's yeah, but I promised myself for what I'm doing now is the very last thing. But I say that every year. So those who know will say he's lying, but it's fine.
Okay. All
It's
right.
my problem.
Sure.
I'm impressed at this.
Thank you.
It's
a
a
very
real
quick
it's a
sketch.
real thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's what I do.
The music.
Their music.
How does it make it into your life?
Early on, so OCD would take me to the kitchen party.
Those kitchen parties
Batong.
made an impression.
Yes. So you can imagine, I mean, as babies, we absorb a lot of things like we are sponges as kids, right? So she would put me on a continental pillow, the back of a Honda Belate, her white Honda Belate,
I remember
HHL 201 GP.
She had a GP
Yes.
registration. She was ahead of
Nearly
herself.
clever. OCD, come on now. So she would put me there and we would go zone 8, zone 2,
Yeah.
Peli Mututlungu,
Tututu.
Kubo Os Eunice, Os Mabel, Os Lady. Each, like I'm not kidding, each and every weekend,
You would go to a kitchen party.
we would go to a kitchen party.
Wow.
And you can imagine
were you
what
the
they were
only
playing.
child?
I mean, at the time, because my
You
sister
must
was
have
in
been.
Bloemfontein.
No.
Oh,
I mean
they-
also at the party.
Yeah, because I was the only child, or they would have kids around there who would who were a bit older than me.
Okay.
Yeah, who were slightly older than me. So I was always in the other room while they were having their. I was just put me in a room, give me a piece like a bunch of papers and a pen and some
then
pens.
you'll scratch and
And then the time goes with me. So I mean, you can imagine what I was listening to.
tell me.
Oh.
Because actually, they do this before you get there. Describe to us a kitchen party. from a child's perspective.
A kitchen party.
Yes.
So a kitchen party is essentially a party where middle-aged women they pick a venue,
Yeah.
they pick a menu.
Which is one of the friends
Yes.
in the group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They pick a menu,
Uh-huh.
right? And then we all go there, dressed to the nines, dressed to the T. Before you go there, you send a list of what you consume.
Alcoholic consumption.
Show me regular 24.
Oh, that's a lot.
Right? It's
But
just
anyway.
like, yeah, right? So, and then there'll be food. So the superpower in this whole thing is that I think they were just showcasing their ability to cook.
Okay.
Some friends would bring body salad, chomitlisa curry fish, you know, ke tlo etsa tlhakwane le eng. So there was that thing
Jeez.
where someone brings something. So it was a kitchen party. So there would always be food and booze and music.
But what was besides what was bringing them together?
The fact that it was like that fellowship, like it's
Okay,
chillers.
okay.
It's what we call chillers now.
Okay. They were not
Yeah.
exchanging money. No
It was not even a
society.
society. We were just there
Rogruva.
to rogruva. We were just there to look nice.
We need that.
It was beautiful.
We need
Those were the best years
the
of my
King's
life.
kitchen party. I see it. All right, let's carry on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
And the music,
The music.
what was playing? You were about to tell us what there was music playing. What was playing?
I mean, they were playing ball. What is this? The spinners, both throwing your good love away. Da, 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 da.
You
Don't know it now, but you know it someday.
Oh my god!
So imagine I was a kid and I knew what heartbreak is.
Well, because you
Was
hear it
I'm not
from the songs.
manifesting?
Do you want to tell us? Do you want us to change the
No,
subject?
we're talking about the spinners.
We can
The
change
spinners, the
subject
OJs,
gladly.
Lenny Williams.
Wow.
So, and I would be mindful of when they play certain music. I knew that when it was time to go home, they would play "Girl, You Know I Love You," Lenny Williams. I
Yes.
know okay, Rachaisa. Oh.
Oh, because Batomo Blues.
Yeah, percentage evil.
Oh.
It's either woman to woman.
Woman to woman.
Have you ever been in love, right? Or Lenny Williams. I know, okay, Rachais, let me pack up my... I'm
Lenny
done
Williams,
drawing.
Lenny Williams plays for about 7 minutes, 40 seconds.
Yeah,
give or
because he's
take.
talking, sometimes
yes,
you get
yes.
lonely. You get lonely.
Oh.
Oh, now they're just on the floor like, why open Ryan?
Amazing. Do you want to know something
Yeah.
interesting? You and I, mine was not kitchen party,
Okay.
but it was the same music.
Yes.
And I've told the story 1,000 times.
Mm.
I fell in love with music through the Spinners.
Woo!
That's it.
You're going to make me cry. Which one?
The very album that you're talking about, I fell in love through the Spinners. All of those songs. And even today, when I hear them play,
I
they
weep.
take me to
I weep.
Atteridgeville.
Kopeli.
Because that's where I fell in love with music.
Kopeli. Yeah, I mean, for me, that was also, I mean, the Spinners, the OJs, the Fighting Sensation. And if you pay attention to the music, it was orchestrated, right?
Yes.
Quincy
Yes.
Jones was also
No, of
writing a lot of
course,
those music,
absolutely,
right?
yeah.
So you could hear some brass line, bo mighty laugh, pa pa pa,
Yes.
pa pa pa, ah, da da, ah, 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 ah.
'Cause
That's a
that's
brass
it.
line.
That's
That's
it.
pa pa pa,
So you
ta
hear
ta
it.
ta, ah, 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 ah. So I don't know. I was paying attention, but I remember those things, and I could tell you that, oh, that's a brass line. They are attacking the notes. So when I got to learn the terms, I was like, oh, I've heard this got the spinners, right? So you can imagine that was my introduction to music.
Yeah.
I was not listening to Barbie Gale.
No, not at all. Thanks to mommy.
Yeah.
Do you know who else used to use a orchestra, like a proper full-on, very wide? Very wide would use an entire like 40 piece.
Yeah.
There's an album where it's performed with a 40-piece band. So the music stayed.
It does. It never left me.
But did you carry it with you at all? No, because
I think I
it looks
did.
like the moment pauses and then it comes back.
Yeah.
Oh, tell me the story. Tell me your perspective. Of it.
So I believe that there were two sections. There was the section of I'm always at church, right? We grew up in the Salvation Army. It's my
yes.
grandparents' church.
Yeah.
I had to find something that was interesting for me to do during all this time where my uncle is there, my mom is there, and I was like, fair man, let me just pick up an instrument, right?
So the flip side of kitchen party was Salvation Army.
Yes, it was, right? And because of how I have a good memory of sounds, I can pick something up and say, okay, this is from this musician. I'll be like, once there was a boy and girl. And my mom would be like, Ofentse Pitse sings.
Amazing.
Girls say I never knew it. Oh, they
Wow,
grew
you know the
older.
words.
So I would sing those songs to my mom, or they would play on wedding, and I'd be like, "Mother," and then my mom was like, "Offense." I'm like, I remember this music because we're spending each and every week consuming this music. And then now Salvation Army, now brass band, orchestral reading, knowing how to read music, and now you're introduced to orchestras, to philharmonic sounds, and all that. So both of the worlds were happening at the same time for me.
They collided.
They collided.
This
They
one brought the fun.
collided.
This one brought the seriousness.
Yeah.
But you didn't know at this stage that this is a thing. It was just,
Nah.
you know, for me, it brings up a very important thing about exposing kids to many things. Because they'll find something.
They will.
In
And
the
not
middle
telling
of all
your
that.
kids what you want them. Like, I never, to this day, I don't know what my mom wanted me to be.
Because she never asked and
She was
conversation
just
didn't
always
come
like,
up.
I just wanted you to be happy and be educated. I'd be like, ha, lawyer nyana. She's like, nah.
Whatever.
She just needed you to go to school.
Jeez.
Yeah.
The music collided.
The music collided.
Were you forced into the Salvation Army side of the story?
I mean, when you're raised in the church, it's just like, listen, it's either you're going to church or we lock in this house. I grew from that generation of just like, listen, it's either you go into church or this house is being locked and you're not going to have Sunday food. I'm like, I guess I need to love church then. Like, what am I going to do?
Yes.
So, again, finding that sense of community in church, right, was what happened to me and for me. But after church, we would go to Old Ladies.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So it never left. Where I was
No,
like, the
yes.
morning we go praise the Lord,
And then-
praise Him.
That's why we
Old
always,
ladies.
that's why we always thought, yeah, and I said this very recently,
Yeah.
that God knocks off on Sunday.
Come off, +1.
Aha! I
Yes.
said go on.
Oh.
Overtime.
Mm.
I always thought God
Definitely.
knocks off. Because then there's a different life after that.
There's a different life.
Jeez.
There's a different life.
Which
after that.
instrument did you gravitate towards immediately?
I mean, I started with the trumpet. And then after trumpet, I went to English horn. From B flat to E flat.
Describe them for us.
Mhm.
Trumpet is the one with
Trumpet
the
is
notes.
from this family.
Yes, but it has notes at the top.
Yes, it has 3 valves.
It's a Humasikela's instrument.
So Humasikela plays the flugelhorn.
Okay. What's
It's
the
still in
difference?
so that is more in the flugelhorn family. That's like cornets,
Okay.
right? And then Humasikela played the flugelhorn. So flugelhorn has a more of a mellow sound. It's still in the trumpet family,
Yes.
but it has more of a mellow sound. Trumpet has more of a bright sound.
Do they look different?
Yes, they do.
One is
It's more
thinner.
straight. Yes, more
straight.
thinner
That's
and
the
straight.
trumpet. in
Yeah,
its
so
true
the
sense.
range is even higher, right? And then flugelhorn, it has more of a shape.
Oh,
It has more of
yes.
the shape, but more at a bigger scale.
I've seen the drum majorettes.
Yes.
With this.
Yes, so that's more of a cornet.
I don't even know how
Okay.
to use that.
Don't worry.
Oh yeah, he's got pictures for us there. So that's the trumpet.
That's the trumpet.
the one with the biggest picture.
That is the
there.
trumpet.
Okay.
Correct.
Is that where you went?
I went trumpet, but it was B flat, right? So
Okay.
B flat trumpet, it's hard to learn.
Yeah.
So after playing the trumpet, I was like, I want something that I can at least be able to not feel the pressure. Because when you play trumpet, that means you have to sit on the first seat. You are leading. I was just like, I just learned this instrument, right? So let me take English horn. I'll come back to trumpet. So then went to English horn.
Your pressure was sitting in front.
Yes, I got my tabate, contrary
believe
to
you.
popular belief.
Well, so that was the main
Yeah,
pressure.
I went from B flat to E flats.
So you can be slightly
Yeah, so that I can sit and then the trumpet can lead.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you enjoy the B flat? Or is it
The
the
E flat, the E flat. I did enjoy the E flat, right? And then after that, I was like, okay, I think I've learned enough of music. And then from there, I played the flugelhorn. So
Okay.
inspired
The
by
very
Humasikela. Yes, I
Humasikela.
was like, I want that instrument, yeah, Humasikela, because he inspired me a lot, right? So
Wow.
unique. And when you play that instrument, it's only you in the band.
Oh,
So you have
it's
your own
not-
seat.
It's not many people.
No, it's just you.
Whoa.
Yeah,
It's that special.
it is very
I
special.
didn't even realize.
Extremely special.
But you was special. man.
You are, Kante.
Nah,
You're only
making
finding
fun.
out, oh,
I'm
he's
making
phenomenal.
fun. Do you know
Yeah.
who sat on that chair 2 weekends ago?
Pray tell.
That day, Kaifasimi.
You know, I've been thinking, like, I've been having this brass line in my mind, and I think I even mentioned this to someone And I was like, I know what's that song that goes ba 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 da 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 da. I'm like that brass
That's
you
a
pendula, right?
Pendule.
I was like, shucks, man, where guy? I've been having that brass line in my
Said
head.
right there.
Oh my goodness.
Right there. It was the coolest thing ever.
Mhm.
So you say you were inspired by Hugh.
Definitely.
Were you exposed to him?
Again, so after Lenny Williams, OJ's Fighting Temptation, we went to Bozim Mwawana,
Jonas Gwangwa.
Jonas Gwangwa, and then Godi Pororo. So, hey, my mom.
Your taste is so old.
Oh, you can't touch me. What's my taste?
It's amazing.
You can't do anything to me.
It's 60s, 70s. That doesn't make
Fully,
sense.
I know all of the artists. All of the artists.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
It's all upbringing.
It is.
Jeez.
It is.
Now, let's talk about Salvation Army.
Salvation Army.
Learning to read. You stayed with that naturally.
Yes.
It seems like a difficult thing.
I mean, it is, right?
But you speak of it like, we just learned how to read it.
Yeah, because now I have a greater understanding of it. But at the time, it's like, there's C scale, and then there's note values, right? And then there was like note specifications, there's dynamic markings, and all of these things that, again, I wanted to be one of the boys, right? Because I was like, I'm seeing the boys playing this brass band.
And they're doing it.
Then I think I can do it. So now I had to learn more. So I spent more time learning this thing because I didn't want to be like, she's just a pretty face.
Yeah, in the gang.
Exactly.
Nothing serious.
Mm-hmm.
And you got better and better.
I had to get better and better.
Do you have a competitive streak about you? I guess the answer is obvious, but let's hear it from you.
Yay. I accept. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I definitely do.
Did it come across in that space? When you were learning?
That's why I wanted the flugelhorn.
Okay.
Because I was like, I just want me. I just really want.
You wanted to be
like
your own.
I just wanted to just be me.
When does the flugelhorn come in songs? And I ask this very innocently so I understand.
Mm-hmm.
When songs are written, do they specifically make a little corner there for it? Or it plays along with everybody else?
No, they make a little corner for it.
So it becomes a solo?
Not a solo, but essentially what the lines of the flugelhorn are essentially the cornet and the horn.
Okay.
Right? So they will, whatever is leading between the cornet and the horn, they'll give the flugelhorn those lead parts.
Oh.
So if there's a trumpet and then it's playing a high range, flugelhorn will go, I think, a third down from there because it's still in the same key.
Incredible.
Mm-hmm.
You fell in love with music at a very early age. And for me, what I like about the way your story goes is your life now is what was a hobby. Essentially.
Yeah.
And that's your life now.
It literally is my life, whether I like it or not.
I think it's like that for a lot of people when they truly find the thing.
That thing.
So the calling will find you on a route you took to even avoid it, where you were trying to run, and it says, "Hey, I'm still here." Do you find that you avoided it at some point?
Definitely. Can I tell you where I was? Right? When I got a call from Bob Mabena telling me that Mom Judas Puma is having a concert on the 1st of November 2019.
Okay.
And it's titled The Power of Dreams. And Ofentse, we believe that your story is such an important story to encapsulate the idea of the power of a dream.
Yeah.
I was in hospital, right?
Okay.
Suffering from severe depression and suicide ideation.
Whoa.
I had just lost my mom a few months prior to that. I just had a concert that I tried to pull off at the Joburg Theatre, right? And then where the sponsor let me down and left me with this huge mess. So I felt like such a failure. And I was like, shucks, man, I've been running for so long. And genuinely, I wanted to create this space and this platform for these musicians to be showcased in a space that I believe they need to be showcased. And then when that happened, I was in the hospital and Bob Mabena was like, listen, this is happening. We want you to be there. I was like, I don't want.
What?
I said no to him.
Bob Mabena.
Bob Mabena.
He could have come and clean his car.
Oh, listen, he called me in the morning from an 011 number.
You still remember?
It was an 011 number, and I was like, thank you, but no thank you. I think this gift has taken more than it has given, right? And he was like, okay, I'll give you until 4 p.m.
Oh,
he
to
called.
Think about
yes, I'm like, I've already decided. He calls at 4 p.m. right? And this was Bob and actually Monsieur Gumete.
Eh,
Yeah, I've decided I'm still not going to do it. They're like, listen, hold on. There's someone else on the other end of the line. Mom Judith was like, Ofentse,
but
I've heard about what you've been through. I've heard about your story. I've never seen you conduct, never seen you hold a baton, but something in me tells me that I need to help you. So let's do the show. Ish. And the voice of Mom Judith just reminded me of my mother. And out of
Jeez.
respect, I could not have said no to that, right?
Yes.
Out of respect. And I was
I guess Bob did a good thing there to get a female voice
yes,
in the room.
because he thought he was like, okay, Ofentse Wachana, hey? But I think he was convicted to be like, I think this is going to be very important for her to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez. And you eventually said, cool.
And then the headline came out that Sunday, Ofentse Pitse, the first young black female conductor in the world, to own an all-black orchestra and choir. I was like,
What?
me? I found out when you guys, I had no idea.
Well, that's what
Next
you
time,
were.
I did not know.
But why is it that it never mattered that you were the first black? It didn't matter to you. I guess it shouldn't.
I did not, because I was not actively looking to
To
chase.
be.
This was not my pinnacle.
Yeah.
I was not looking at this
Whatever.
like, I want to do this. I need to venture into pop culture, and then from pop culture, I can break barriers. It happened organically.
Jeez. The formation of the orchestra, what inspired that? Because it didn't even
Yeah.
happen in Kopitori.
It happened so Katlehong.
What were you doing there?
Spread view.
What were you doing there? Have you been married?
I think it's this thing of just always being taken away, eradication patra, zone 8, zone 2, just always being used to just driving off somewhere,
and
traveling. Tsela, Skontir, Tar Road. I was attending these choir competitions, né?
Yeah.
They call them Saske.
If you saw cameras there, it was us.
Ah, hey now.
Yes.
So I mean, Sasuke, they would prescribe music to schools, and it'd be like an extracurricular thing after school. And then these kids will have teachers who teach them how to sing as an after school activity. I would attend those competitions and all those things, right?
With what in mind? Why were you?
I'm just going there because I love music.
The music is
There
calling.
was no intention, right? And I would get convicted. Like there's this thing that bothers me.
Yeah, which is
When I hear something, I'm like, I need to do that.
Yeah.
It won't let me rest, right? So with this, I kept on going. Something was like, okay, Ofentse, you need to do something with creating a space for these young people to just feel like they belong. Because my thing, I felt like they never got a well done.
That's true.
Right. And I was like,
Yeah.
shucks, they're so good. No one is telling them well done.
Why was there no well done in that environment? In your
I mean,
observation?
again, we come from hoods where there's no obsession of success. And it's just like, we can't, you find parents who cannot even say, yo, nyakuthanda, jo, like,
Hey, that doesn't exist.
nyakuthanda mntanam, So I just felt like, shucks, man, I need them to understand that they sound like Pavarotti and Mamsbongile Kumar right now.
Wow.
Do they even know that? Or they're just singing because it's just an extra school thing, we're representing our schools. So I started with just wanting to create a space where I can somehow facilitate the environment and the stages where they can perform. That really was what it was. And then it evolved to me having this grand idea of adding instruments to this thing and reaching out to my boys at church. I was like, guys, just come on Saturday, let's jam.
Salvation
Army boys. Gona ko Katlehong.
Army.
Let's come. Let's like letlang Saturday, let's jam. And then it was an organic thing. I had my pianist friend there. I had printed music, Bob Mendelssohn, Bob Cast Thy Burdens Upon the
You
Lord.
printed all these.
I've printed this thing. We are jamming now on Saturday, and I had this grand idea. Let's add instruments. Brass came, and I'm like, you know what? I imagine a softer sound. You guys know string players, like, do you have friends, buddy strings? Like, yeah, and I go 15. Go
So
7.
no study.
Yeah, in my head. So that's how I imagine these things, right? I will hear things in my head, or I will see pictures, like broken fragments of maybe this is how the gift works, right? And I would sit and I'm just like, okay, and I connect things as I'm sitting. I'm like, okay, this is what can be done, right? And then I'm like, okay, this is how I can do it. And then I do it. And then before I knew it, there was 19 musicians taking out their instruments, right? And then there's this 16-member choir. And I'm like, okay, who's going to conduct this?
What's the bigger dream? What was the bigger dream?
I wanted them to perform at the Sydney Opera House.
Okay, got you. 100%.
That's where my vision was. I was like, put these kids go at Sydney Opera House singing, Isbongo Zega Shaka.
and how it'll solve itself.
I'll, because I'm very adamant, right? I'm quite persistent. I'll DM the people that I need to DM, but I
Yeah.
need you guys to get these. So it was not even about me conducting them. It was about them getting to the City Opera House.
So you didn't really see yourself when you were calling these people. You didn't see yourself as one of the members. Nothing.
I was still going to be an architect.
I guess, eh?
I wanted to be an architect. I was like,
An
let me just
architect
give
that
you the
loves
space.
music and then bringing people together.
I will attend and look at them shining, but this was not part of the plan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now you say you see them, there they are. There's no
Yeah.
conductor.
There is no conductor.
Is there need for a conductor?
Yes, but it depends with the ensembles.
Okay.
Yes.
Explain.
For example, your early classic Baroque ensembles, right, which would be like string players, a configuration of either a quartet, right, or sextet, so 4 or 6.
Yes.
They can play with themselves. They don't need a conductor, right, or septet or whatever. Then when you get to larger ensembles where they're like 12, 16, that you need someone to actually lead, right? So most of the time what you would have in smaller settings or ensembles, you would have the first seat violin be the concert master. So the
Okay.
concert master will
Oh.
act as the conductor. So concert masters
But
are
they're part
the
of.
extent. Yeah, so the concert master will like be here, right?
Okay.
And then they'll be playing, and then when they do this, it's like
Oh,
they're
they
showing you that.
gesture.
Yeah, the gesture's like okay, and then we continue, and
Okay.
then so you have to listen in as a player. So the players
And
will look at the
and
concert
watch.
master.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's when you don't need a conductor.
So the number
Mhm.
influences that decision.
Yes,
The bigger it grows.
definitely.
Why is that though? Because are you thinking now?
Mhm.
Because these are all professionals.
Mhm.
These are people who can read.
Mhm.
Surely they know what they're doing, right?
Yeah, but sound perspective and perception of sound,
Uh,
right? So as you are playing, I can play my trumpet and play all the right notes, right? But then I may not hear how soft I am. So am I on mezzo piano? Am I on forte? Am I on mezzo forte? So you need someone to actually know from the outside and hear that, okay, that's a bit loud. Okay, come up. Okay, go down. Okay, just a little bit. Okay, breath control and all those things. And then this is where you close it. And then while they're closing you, they're looking at the percussion like, okay, are you ready? Sometimes I even do this. I'm like, okay, this person's going to close the phrase. And then once they close the phrase, and then we pick it up. So you need someone to show you that. Otherwise, you miss those intricate things like what is your upbeat, what is your downbeat.
I'll be as simplistic in my understanding. We are not. It's a sound engineer who is balancing
Sure.
the
In
song.
technical terms,
Yes.
in your world, it's like a
Well,
sound engineer. Because you have to the EQs,
that's what it is.
like the knob.
You say that's too high.
Just a little bit. That's a bit off tune, intonation.
Yeah.
Come here. And sometimes you even have to, with the instrument, you have to be like, okay, open up your instrument a bit here. And then play that note. And then you tune. And you're like, okay, you got it. Hold it.
Yes.
Yes.
Whoa.
So it's like engineering.
Or
Mhm.
a conductor
Mhm.
rally the masses.
Yes. So that's why
To-
a conductor is a leader.
Exactly. Hurrying.
Yeah.
Because we watch a conductor conduct as the ordinary folks, and we think, hayi umuntu usimashela isikhathi abantu bayazi ukuthi bayenzani wenzani lo sisi. And you say
Yes.
all of that stuff.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's necessary.
So with that, I have to know what everyone has to be doing.
Is it a common misunderstanding though that from the lay people like us that what is she doing?
There is, I mean, I've had people say, oh, you just wave your stick. Or some people be like, are you really a conductor? I'm like, I can't be an influencer conductor. Like, I really am. There's no influencers who just hold the baton. Like,
Just for the
you
sake
just
of
don't
it.
learn this on YouTube or
Yeah.
No, like
All
I
one.
really no. It's really quite complex, right? Because you understand what everyone, even how you use the baton, right? There's a certain way where if you land below where you're supposed to land, you communicate something different to the musicians. So
It's
even
almost
your
like it's almost
positioning,
like sign language.
that's what even your position means a certain thing. How you use your wrist means a certain thing. How you use your hand, how you gesture your neck sometimes. It's like an intense thing. So you have to be very careful of your body language
Don't
as well.
just. Let me quote you. There are people not every people conduct, but not everyone is a conductor. That's a
Yes.
quote.
Yes.
That's your quote.
Shucks, I said that.
Yes. No, people
Yeah.
conduct, but not everyone is a conductor. Explain that quote for me.
I mean, I heard that from my conducting mentor, Ruben
Okay.
Gruten, and then I was like, because I also had that misconception. I was like, why are they always waving their hands? Like, what does that mean, right? Because sometimes I feel like conductors are just doing too much, right? And then it's like there's a lot of conductors, but not many of them know how to conduct. So
Okay.
knowing how to conduct is understanding the fundamentals of conducting, right? Also, the conductor is the meekest of the group, right?
Okay.
So that's why, as a true conductors, don't even like being called maestros
Yes,
or
that big
maestras.
type, that big
No,
type
like I
thing.
wouldn't call myself a maestro.
Why
If
not?
no,
Like what? You know,
I wouldn't call myself. If someone's like maestro or whatever, I'll just thank you very much. But I wouldn't call myself because, again, your back is to the audience for a reason.
yeah.
And then the audience sees the players,
They
right?
don't see you.
They don't see you. So
Yeah.
you just have to be, so less is more in conducting, honestly. Like if you've seen me conduct, I use a lot of my face.
Okay.
So
okay.
what people don't see, sometimes I may just be here and then my face is here. And that communicates something to the player.
But because the language, we should all understand it.
Yes.
Both of us
Yes.
should understand it.
Yeah.
Does it happen that your conducting is Zulu and mine is Tswana?
Um,
And I pick up one or two words, but not every word. Does that happen?
Yeah, and that's why there's the interpretation as well. So the importance of having one conductor is that I can be like, okay, we are doing this in Zulu today.
Okay. Okay.
And maybe next week we'll be like, ish, maybe Setswana.
So
And we all understand what music.
that's what I was about
we all
to
understand
say.
who Tchaikovsky is. We all know who Beethoven is.
Okay.
We know the score.
Ah.
But my interpretation matters.
And your interpretation. So a conductor can change the sound of the song by gesturing.
Yeah. But you must be very careful about that, right? Because I mean, the purists in conducting, they like, you must always try to emulate what the orchestrator or arranger was trying to relay.
Yeah.
And that time, Beethoven he passed away a long time ago. Stravinsky is gone. So there's a certain way of writing that you understand what they were trying to say.
Yes.
So there's certain things that you cannot change because you're like, this is the messaging that they had. But then I may be like, I want this to be more African. So I will interpret it in a way that it's just like, okay, this phrasing, right, is going to be
Changes.
African, but I don't change the music.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have to really have a clear understanding of music and reading to be a good conductor?
You have to.
You can't say.
You have to, because you have to get better and better. I had to get to a point I'm like, okay, cool. I've been playing brass instruments all of my life. I need to learn how to play the piano now, because then you have a certain understanding of how certain things change in the orchestra.
Okay.
So I can be like, okay, this is an E-7 chord, but it can also change into a C sharp major 7. And then when you try, you like major 7, you're like, that sounds nice. Let's add this major 7.
You're talking in tongues now, but it's fine. We'll play along.
Sure. Yeah.
So you had to learn how to play.
Yeah, I play the piano. I had to learn how to play the piano to just understand. Again, I always want to be better than good enough. I don't just want to be called, oh, she's just pretty. She has nice suits on and lipstick. Oh, she talks well.
And she does this.
No. I want someone to be able to be like, Ofentse, I challenge you
to
Dvorak's New World Symphony.
Jeez.
Second movement. I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, give
Time
me how
and
long?
place.
Give me
Time
how
and
long?
place.
Give me how long?
Give me 2 days.
Whoa.
With Dvorak. Give me 2 days.
2 days with a good ensemble.
Give me 2 days.
Yeah.
No, 2 days with myself to prepare.
Okay.
And then but the second day we'll go into rehearsal
What
and
does
then we
take?
test it out.
What does that take? That 2 days for you? What does it involve?
So I analyze my scores, right? So before I even look at the scores, so I approach my scores barefoot.
Okay, carry on. Let's understand this.
And now I'm giving you trade secrets, ne?
Well, it's not like
Ke lahla ditaola.
it's not like I will be a conductor next week. Imagine
Ke
that.
lahla ditaola. So what I do So what I do is that because this thing is such a gift to me. So I'm always open to whatever the universe is saying to me at the
Throws
time.
at you, yeah.
So I will have my phone on do not disturb. I will tune in. Sometimes I just look at the first page for the longest time. I look at the first page and I'm just like, okay, we're doing Dvorak, and I'll hear the song play in my head, right? I'm like, okay, song's playing in my head, and then I would think, how does Ofentse make this an offensive thing? And then I have my process of marking the score, right? So marking that, okay, this is the section where the violins play, this is the brass, this is the percussion section, right? And then I move along, and then I look at certain parts within the score that I can I look at as opportunities to be different. So sometimes I'm like, okay, I want the double bass to attack these notes. So this phrasing, right? This last decrescendo, I want to add emphasis onto the double bass, right? And then I'll mark it out, and then I look at, okay, maybe the bassoon can do this, and then I want the entire orchestra to be softer on this section, right? And then after that, if I bring it up with brass and maybe brass and a little bit of the timpani, and then on this part I stop, and then I paint
the song.
I literally paint the scape, the soundscape of the entire song, and then after doing that, I message my conducting mentor. I'm like, listen, I'm doing this song, I need your help here and there, and then he's like, okay, take a video of you conducting. Right.
Okay. Wow.
So there's also a section where I look at the mirror.
So the song is playing and you are conducting it.
Yes.
Okay.
So the song. So I have to imagine how my orchestra is, right? And then I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and then I am filming everything, because what you communicate is what the orchestra will receive. So I have to make sure that I'm communicating the right thing. So it's an entire process.
So you can get a gig by shooting yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
With the song playing.
Yeah.
And then Mara, she's perfect.
Yeah, she knows what she's doing. And then there's a division of notes where it can be like a 6/4, but you are dividing it into like
this is
a
you.
3.
This is you doing gestures.
And then it goes to a 4. You understand?
Is that a 4?
A 4 is 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me do it with hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Yes.
And sometimes you will have like
that's common.
Yes, that's common time,
yes,
right?
yes.
And then you have like a 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then you have a 2
We know 4 on the floor because
I've heard of that.
Yeah, because of DJing.
Yes.
Because it's a house music, my piano, kwaito. It's
always the downbeat. So your 4 on the floor is actually a downbeat.
Yes, that's how they're done. That's how that music is done. R&B. That's how they're done.
Yes.
So when you DJ, you hear them and you count them. You're always counting numbers. DJs count. That's all they do. So I guess it's similar in some way to what you do.
Definitely. You're always counting, you are dividing, you are negotiating constantly. Where do I come in? Where's the perfect time? Is this gonna cut it? Is that, so I'm always in my head when I'm having to yes, definitely. I don't even eat.
Does it get that bad?
Yeah.
So the preparation process is quite intense.
Definitely. You know when you watch Beyonce's documentaries and she's doing Coachella and she's like, I'm only eating an apple.
Well,
I'm only eating an apple.
She's
know,
a
it's
celebrity.
Like,
Celebrities
yeah,
don't
it's
eat,
like I'm
man.
only eating an apple. But the process is so intense because you understand that I have to what I'm carrying in, right, and what I am giving to people is greater than me. So if I don't prepare.
And you can see that, right?
You can
see an unprepared.
Oh, definitely.
Or by conductor.
Yes.
Wow.
You can definitely see. Yeah, that this person does not know what's happening.
Jeez,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Getting into this, your story has mentors, but it doesn't have formal training.
Sure.
It's like regular license.
Rabainda. Get taxi bandile.
Yes.
Rabainda in this taxi.
People who end up where you are, do they have formal training? Most of them. Let me rephrase. Is there the traditional route?
Definitely.
Which is?
You go into school and you learn how to conduct. They teach you conducting.
Where? Is it university level?
Yes. Wits University has music. University of Pretoria has music. UCT has music.
Yes.
So there's departments that actually are music departments.
And there are people who are there to learn to conduct. Not play that,
Yes.
learn to conduct.
But the trick in what makes me unique is because mine is not institutional, right? My mind is so open. I can work with an Afro-tech DJ.
Or a piano DJ and create something.
You know what I mean? Because my mind is not, no, this is the box that we were taught in, conducting. So because of that, my mind is limitless. Had I gone to university, I feel like I was going to be doing your Beethovens.
You would stay
The whole time. I was going to be like, Beethoven, that's who I want to, who I want to conduct.
Jeez.
Yeah, whose music I want to
But
conduct.
then since you didn't take the traditional route,
Mhm.
what was your route then? Agiri katlehong, and then what happens then?
So I DM'd a lot of conductors, right?
Yeah.
Go Facebook. Most of them did not respond.
Whatever.
Most
What were
of
you
them did not
saying? What were you saying to them? I'm here to DM
Yes.
anybody. So let me hear
Okay.
let me hear
So
the
I
DM
was like,
language.
good day, so and so. My name is Ofentse Pitse. I am an architectural technologist. I come
Okay.
from wherever. I've started this group, or of comprising of young, dynamic,
Black.
musicians, and I want to give them the platform to exert their gift and their talent, right? And I'm reaching out to you because I want to learn from you. So, would you be keen or be open to helping me, mentoring me, and then you let me know what the T's and C's are, if am I paying for this or whatever.
Yes.
So most of them left me on red. And it was Gerben Grooten, who is, the former principal conductor of the UP Philharmonic.
Okay.
And he was also big in, was he the head of music? But he was in the music department at UP.
Yeah.
Again, one of the best conductors in Africa.
Whoa.
Also one of the best in Europe, because he's from the Netherlands, right? So and again, he used to be the assistant to my conducting hero, Claudio Abado of the Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra. What?
Heroes
yes,
in this space.
Definitely. So I mean, Berlin Philharmonic is like top 2 orchestra in the world, right? Top 2 or 1 or whatever. But for Gerben to have been an assistant to Claudio Abado means that I'm learning from Gerben what he learned from Claudio.
Yes.
So I was like, perfect fit. So Gerben has taught me everything that I know.
So he said yes.
He said yes. But also
DM.
because he met me, he was like, let's have coffee, let me hear you out. And then I think I just speak well.
Wait a minute, but when there were so many no's,
yeah,
what led to his yes, even to the meeting?
I think what led to his yes was the way in which I spoke about how I just have this dream.
Okay.
And I want to be better at this.
Yeah.
So can you help me be better? And he was like, okay.
The traditional way would be go to school.
Yeah.
He didn't do that.
No. He understood that my trajectory and my route was not the formal way, right? I had bigger dreams that were not like, I want to conduct orchestras. I'm like, I want to create, I've created this.
Yeah.
I want to be better and great at this. So he was like, okay, so I have to mentor you to become the best version of Ofentse. You're not going to find that at university.
What? It's interesting that he's an academic in the space, and yet he says that.
Right. I was expecting him to box me, like to be like, okay, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. He was like, okay, you want to do what? Isbongo Zigashaka. All right, you want to do Isbongo. But before we get to Isbongo, let's do Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture. Okay. Because you're going to go in a space where you can do Mziliga's Kumalo, but you're going to have people challenging you because you're young, you're black, and you're female.
Whoa.
So let me teach you how to be ready for the challenge.
What?
Yeah.
The lunch or the meeting, was it a dream come true already?
Listen, I mean, he's the type of guy that he doesn't just respond to anyone. So he's the dream come true. He's the icing on the cake. Like, when you get Gerben to speak to you, I think you have something great to talk about.
Wow. And he said, cool.
He was like, yeah, let's go for it.
That's crazy though.
He was like, let's go for it, yeah.
Did it feel at any point like this is just written? This life, you should just walk it. Because these are people that you only dream of meeting, and yet they agree to help. He agrees to helping you out.
Definitely. They agreed to help me out. And there was one time where I was getting, now I just did Judy Supuma. Now Sowetan is like, Ofentse Pitse. The first year I'm like female conductor.
Was this after having had the training?
No, this was before.
Jeez. This is where you were still wet behind your ears.
Yes, right. But then I still knew, because remember I was growing up in a space where there was a lot of bandmasters, and they're great brandmasters in the Salvation Army. So I was just like, okay, this is how you do it. Na 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 da 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 dun 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 dun. So I pick up small things that they were doing, but then after that I was like, shucks, I need to be better than good enough.
Yeah.
So that's when the meeting with Gerben happened. It was like, okay, I will teach you everything that I know. And there was this one time I had a radio interview during our class. I was like, Mr. G, I'm just gonna need like 5 minutes because I have a radio interview, right? So cool, radio interview. Hi, Ofentse, tell us about your story. Oh my gosh, you did the Power of Dreams. And then I was like to him, oh my gosh, Gerben, did you ever think that I'll be here and whatever? He was like, yeah. And I'm like, why aren't you excited? He was like, it takes 10 years to be a great conductor.
Wow.
And you've only just started, so we have some work to do. That's what humbled me. So I was just like, Ofentse Pitse.
Oh, so there was a moment you thought you were.
And then he was like, it takes about 10 years to be a great conductor, so we have work. That brought me down. I was like, okay, second movement of Dvorak. So
when you met, when you started with him, did you realize you didn't know enough?
Yes.
Like
and I also realized that even in the space where I thought the people that were conductors knew what they were doing, I was like, shucks, so they don't really know what's happening. So he opened my eyes to an entire world, right? And I was just like, oh my goodness, shucks, okay, this is, it felt like I was starting from scratch.
Jeez.
Yeah, it felt like I was starting from scratch.
What were the T's and C's of his?
So, I mean, I had to enroll in the Hetfield Arts Academy. So this was under the Hetfield Arts Academy, right? So it might not have been like the institutional university, right?
Yes.
But it was under the Hetfield Arts Academy. Yeah. And then I enrolled as a conducting student, and I wanted Gerben to be my teacher. And there was like a very small fee that you paid in a year. I think it was like 900 Rand. It felt really much like Salvation Army, where they were just giving back. It was not much, especially given what you pay to get mentored and tutored. And I think he did that because to show me how I need to invest in myself and the eagerness I need to have in what I'm doing. Because if he was just like, I'll teach you, I think I was just going to take advantage of, I have access.
If it's free, it has no value.
But because
even if
I
it seems like
paying, I was like, okay, each and every week I have to see this guy.
Yeah. What were you doing with your other life when you were now agreeing to going to these
I was studying. I was doing my postgrad now. So in between, I don't really have much of a life. I don't even have much of a social.
It was school, it was architecture, and then this on the side.
Gerben and school. And in between, I'm analyzing, I'm learning, I'm reading as well. So I read a lot. I'm analyzing, I'm watching 3-hour concerts. Your Daniel Gattis are doing, Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. And I'm watching this, I'm observing. But also to gain knowledge, right? Yeah. So that's what I was doing in between everything else.
Wow.
Still not the streets.
What's so special about the Ninth Symphony? I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not one to be
well, your perspective.
I mean, with symphonies and orchestrations and arrangements from these big giants, it's really about what was happening at the time.
Okay.
So you find that there was, the defeat of Napoleon or whatever, and then there's the war that was won, whoever was conquered. So there's this patriotism, whatever. So it becomes a soundtrack of that era.
It's the moment.
It's that moment. Like you have such songs as Finlandia, which has the hymn "Be Still My Soul, the Lord is on your side," because it just talks about winning the war, and they always play it at the on New Year's Eve because it just in Finland it represents the triumph. So music of that era represents what was happening at the time.
It's like the UEFA theme song.
Yes, exactly.
When you hear it, it's like
you just like you want to take your jersey and your scarf.
Yeah, there's a feeling.
Even though you know your team is gonna.
Yeah, well, let's not get there. I suffered this past weekend.
I'm so sorry. I saw that.
I suffered badly. Let's carry on.
Yes.
I suffered.
Yeah.
I'm still suffering. But
I'm
anyway,
so sorry.
If you don't say it again, leave me.
Huskies.
Wow. What were you learning at this school?
Music.
Is there a history, reading, playing?
So I was taking piano. So Kate Wilson was my piano teacher at the time, and I was also doing conducting. So it's piano and conducting.
Jeez.
So piano, it's theory. You have to understand what happens on the left hand, happens on the right hand. You have to understand scales. You have to understand keys and all that. So it was the theory of it all. And again, while you're doing this, right, you're learning, and then they give you homework. So in order
Yes.
to give them homework, you have to now be playing. So now
Ah,
you have like 2-3 days to learn what you were.
this
So that's why I didn't have time to go play.
no nothing.
When?
Wow.
Mm.
Were you a natural? Did you ease
Yes.
into it?
I'm good with like whatever I'm being taught.
Yeah.
Give me enough time to sit with it. Again, this is my gift. Like, I get it.
Yes. Yes.
I just get certain things and I'm just like, how do I know that? There's certain Grootmans who've been in the business. They're just like, how is this kid?
doing this.
How?
Have you encountered the how
Mm.
from a negative? You don't belong.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Hmm.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
in what? In what? How recent is that?
Yo, I mean, I would say that even in the classical choral space, there's no
Yes.
seat for me because it's almost as though because what I'm doing is so unconventional, right? And again, you'll ruffle a bit of like a few feathers with trying to be different from what is there, right? So because of that, then there'll be like a barrier that's created. We don't want her here,
We don't
you
want
know?
that.
Yeah, and maybe it's a thing of we don't want her because she's gonna take our job, and I'm just like, shucks, I'm doing something totally different to what you guys have done, right? So I don't see myself as competition, but I just felt I don't belong in certain spaces, so that's why I've created my own space.
Yeah.
Even the same conductors who I reached out to back then, I was like, Ish, please teach me your ways, whatever. You know, I would think they would be like, wow, you're doing something great. You know, now the world knows that there's this space, and just like, there's still none of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes me know and understand that, really,
It's-
there's no seat at that table for me.
What is different about what you do to the
I'm
traditional?
breaking barriers.
Give me. You said it. I think when you said, "Here's a song. It's been done this way. You are likely to do it this way." That's really what you bring to the table, and you're saying it's not easily accepted by everybody.
Some people are fundamentalists, right? And
Yeah,
purists.
Yeah. There's a phrase in DJing.
What is it called?
No, you don't press the sync button. There's a sync button in the decks.
You never press it.
This song is playing at 120 BPM. This one is at 115. You want to bring them together. You can easily use the. Here it is. See that thing?
Oh, this.
You can you can move.
Okay.
You can change the BPM of a song, or you can just press a button. Some would say
You don't
purists
do
don't press the button.
that. Purists.
They beat match. They listen to the beat and then get it.
Yeah.
So there are those who look at you and say, "This is not how it's done."
Yeah, these people who are, this is not how it's done. Also, who do you think you are? You know, because
Ooh.
there's that you are coming from a different environment. How can you come from architecture and now you are dominating in this space? Now we are seeing you working with luxury brands like your Veuve Clicquot, your Rupert and Rothschild. You know, now
Jeez.
you having a show with Sanel, and it's just like, shucks, man, how did you create? We've been in this space for so long. Nandi diploma, Jo.
And we couldn't
Hey.
make it.
Yeah, what do you mean? Like, what are you doing?
Jeez. What do you think? What is the answer to that question? Like, how the hell do you make it?
Depending on what you believe in. This is a gift, Shem.
Yeah. Nothing you can do about it.
Shem. This is a gift. The amount of things that I'm able to see, how I'm able to hear, how I know how to interpret things, because I sit long enough with myself to be open to whatever the spiritual realm is trying to say or trying to communicate, right? So I get it in that level or from that perspective, right? So I can't answer it beyond the fact that it genuinely is a gift that is bigger than me.
Yeah. So
And when people are like, yeah, offensive, I'm like, guys, I can go back to architecture any day. And still be the best architect. Like I was, I can still dominate in that space.
Yeah.
So there's just something that always has called me in this space. And what makes me unique is I juxtapose worlds. Ka Photoshop.
Pretty much. I
Photoshop these worlds and be like, I've never seen this with this. Okay. maybe let's make it work, right? And
Yeah.
again, because of how my mind works architecturally, I know how to break something apart to bring it back together.
Jeez.
So when I speak to people and I pitch this, I'm like, oh my gosh, imagine this. And they have enough sense to listen to me like, okay, Ofentse, you sound like, okay, can you send us this plan? I'm like, okay, I'll send it out and then it'll be rough and whatever. And they'll be like, okay, I think this can be done.
So this is where you're saying there is a marriage between the two worlds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Explain it to us that
Mhm.
that how you do it. Do you do it all the time? Where you bring the two worlds
Yes.
together?
I think it's a default setting at this point,
Okay.
right? Where, there's things that are embedded within me, right, in the architectural space,
Yeah.
right? And that's how I automatically know how to approach something.
Yeah.
I will get into a building, I will go into Starbucks and tell you what is going right or wrong about the
Wow.
space.
Without even trying.
I'll tell you what's working. I'll tell you, okay, this shade is not working properly. Okay, this is why people are not talking loudly, but the acoustics is very high. So it sounds like people are screaming at each other. So I'll be in a space and I'll look at certain materials or certain ways of designing and whatever and know how to make it better.
Yes.
Right. Music. Right. I look at music and I'm just like, okay, this is how it's been done, this and other. And then I know how to make it better. And I use the principles that exist in architecture. So,
Yeah.
there's technique, there's texture, there's color, there is the what is this? There's also the balance, right? That you get in architecture. So those things I've learned in architecture and I know how to marry them so beautifully
Yeah.
in music. Also, I negotiate my space. I can tell you how when I'm conducting, if I do this, it means this. If I do that, it's gonna get this type of approach. So I
Yeah.
look at the orchestra like in an architectural setting. That's why even there's a certain way I'm like, okay, if you sit like this, I know it creates this type of harmony, right? I can't go further than this because it's gonna make you uncomfortable, or it's gonna be more. What is this? It's gonna create like a tense output, right? So I have to just anchor myself here. So that's
And that's
all
an architectural approach.
special
Yes.
planning. Like that's
Yeah.
just I'm negotiating my space, how I enter, how I come out, where I go up, where I go down. What is this? The color of things. It's all musical and architectural. So the two worlds come together.
Do you know, Elia, I wanted to ask you about how you set, if it's important, how call it a band for lack of a better word, how they sit. What are they called? An ensemble.
It's an ensemble.
Yeah, it's an ensemble.
Ensemble. Yeah.
And so how you place them, it matters. I didn't
does.
think I thought it did, but then I thought maybe it doesn't. Surely it does. Because you need to know where to look at what. As well. You need to know that you're talking to these guys.
Yes.
You can't just blow man.
Nope. So there's a certain way in which you seat the instruments that also affect how you look at your score, right?
Yeah.
So at the bottom of the score is where the strings are placed. So the strings need to be close. The strings is the first line.
Okay.
After the strings, we go into the brass, right? Or sometimes they'll have like the percussion, right? They'll have the percussion here, and then the percussion is at the back, right? And then we'll have brass. Right.
Look at how you already doing.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, right? We'll have brass. Brass will be on the right, but then the winds will also be from the left, right? And then, or sometimes you have winds and then brass, right? And then I know immediately how to approach the music based on where people are placed. So then it will throw me off. There's some orchestras that want to do it the opposite direction, and that also helps me because I'm a right-handed conductor.
Okay.
Right. And a lot of the emotion is always in the strings, right? So because my left hand is what brings the dynamic, whatever, right, together, I need to have my strings here because they're the most emotional.
So you want to see them?
Yes.
On this side, which is the left side.
Exactly, which is the left side. So and also because my concert master is here, I can already, when I look at my concert master with this hand and I know that I give the concert master the feeling of how we're approaching this, they can be able to carry it around.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez, man, it's a whole thing.
That's an entire thing. It's an entire tribe that you put together.
Are they words that are unique to your world? Like gestures that have names?
Yes.
When you do this, it's called this. My research gave me weird names.
What did it say?
I'll tell you.
I'm interested.
Beat? It's a word.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
A beat is what it's basically like the the time signature.
Okay, so it's tempo.
Yes, in a way.
Okay. Does the conductor command the beat? Or is this the score
The score
tells
commands
that?
the beat.
Okay.
So you'll even have a metronome marking on the beat. You know how in DJ you have your BPMs? We have that where it's just like, okay, the note value of this, and then you have your metronome marking, right? But then you have certain dynamic markings like your moderato, your andante, your allegro con brio, your mezzo. No, that's the what is this? The mezzo forte and stuff that's written at the bottom of the score. That's just the approach. So it tells you mezzo forte is like very soft. So you play it very soft and it has a grave thing. And then mezzo piano is when you play it loud, right? And then you have fortissimo, then it goes loud. And then you have, so it's certain things that tell you how to approach. So I don't think I want that to be loud.
Oh, so
it's written.
So the note tells you.
The note tells you what's happening. And then you have your crescendo goes up, and then you have your crescendo, and then you have your rallentando where you just like and then you slow it down, and then a tempo, and then we go back to tempo.
A female conductor, is there a specific name for it? Maestro, is that male?
Maestro is male. Maestra is female.
Maestra is female.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you don't care for those titles.
I only care when I've done the work. I won't call myself that.
You don't walk around.
No.
You don't say hi. I am maestro, a maestra.
Okay. I'll say hi, I'm Ofentse Pitse.
Not hi, I'm maestra Ofentse Pitse.
No.
Do people do that?
They do, and I find that so cocky because I'm just like, that's a title people need to say, yeah, you are really good at. You can't just be like, I'm maestra, I'm maestro, whoever. Just like, let the work just speak for itself, guys.
So people walk around like doctors.
People
and professors.
Printed out at choir competition, bar maestra, whoever from whichever choir.
Wow.
Yeah. And I just feel like that's a title you can't give yourself. People need to say you're actually that,
It's like my favorite title in South Africa. Your Honorable. The Honorable Ofentse Pitse. It's like, you have to earn it.
You have to earn it. Now you're honorable way. With what actions? Yes.
And are these things the same? It's called a baton. Are they the same?
It's a baton.
Is it the same? Do they look the same all the time?
They're different. So batons take on different shapes depending on the conductor, right?
Okay.
So because I'm small and my hand is small, so this fits. So the end of the baton, which is the handle, should be able to hook into your into your arm, like into your hand, right?
Is that a natural holding position?
This is the natural holding position, right? Or sometimes I will do this, right? But then again, because of how the material is, you will use this for what is this? Slower pieces, right? Because this is like is this hazelwood? What's this? What's this type of wood? Okay, I'm not too sure.
I know only one wood.
Which one? I'm not really good with wood finishes. So this is like just slow pieces or whatever, right, for me. Yeah. And then I have another one that is a corkscrew material. So with that one, because when I'm conducting fast, my palm will sweat.
Oh, so
it's able to still grip and absorb. So I like that one more when I'm just like, it's fast things that we're conducting.
So in Spanish today.
In Spanish.
Yeah, very.
So this is with the musicians, because so when you play the violin, right, you play like this, and here's your stand, right? And then what happens at the corner of your eye or here is that you see what the conductor is doing. So it's this thing that's flicking around. Because imagine you playing like a very fast symphony, right?
And you still have to keep.
So you can't do this and this.
And you're gonna miss your moment.
So this flickering will always be at the corner of your eye.
Wow.
So that's why this always keeps the pulse. Then tan 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 tan. So they will be able to. And then there's a
they do that.
And then they'll wait for you. Upbeat, ba 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 ba. So it just shows them where your upbeat, your downbeat is. It just controls the motions.
Because that's why I asked the earlier question, which seemed dumb, that they already have a sheet.
Yes.
What are you doing? Because they have a sheet. Because I can't imagine you playing with a sheet and you have this person in front of you. You have to keep looking at this person and you don't have the time because you're following your score and you're saying, well, they have to.
And this person, which is the conductor, is bringing everything together, right? So you can play like everyone. Professional musicians know what's happening.
Pretty much. Yeah, they can
They
play
know
this.
what's happening, but there's a certain direction of, okay, I need you to pause here, ready. And you can't do that with like 40 musicians.
No.
Omong upbeat
Omo
high,
so, somewhere.
after. So you have to be very like, and you also have to have this be like, okay, and check if
Yes.
everyone is looking at you so that you do it all at the same time.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Mhm.
Being black,
Mm.
is it a barrier? Because you have a few. Being black, being young, being a girl. Yeah, you got problems. Okay, let's
Hey.
start. Let's face them one at a
To
time.
be young, gifted, and black.
There you
Donny
go.
Hathaway.
There she go. Your music is pretty decent. I'm impressed.
No, my playlist is unmatched. Is it a burden?
being well, not really a burden, but more what is it? Being black in this world that you have taken on so much. What does it represent? Being a darkie?
Being a darkie, ne?
Yes.
For me, it represents opportunity, right? I think if I was any other ethnicity, I would not have had as much of an impact. I think being black has a story.
Yeah.
It has such a dynamic story. It's layered with so many stories, just being this,
Yeah.
that you don't find this anywhere else. And I have such a great appreciation of it. And then coupled with that, you are female.
Now comes in another layer. Yeah.
So there's the female part of it. And so it's always like there's a bit of a tug of war of, are you appreciated, or is there like a desirability of, she's so pretty.
What is it?
Yeah, let's book her. But I don't think. But
Come
sometimes
in.
I have that insecurity. I'm like, so that's why I always make sure that I always prepare so that I don't
Yeah.
fall on, oh, she's just so
Yeah.
pretty. She knows how to rock a suit, or she her lipstick, whatever. So I always make sure that I don't fall back on that, because sometimes that can be something you just like can get away with.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. There's a very thin line of you can get away with that.
Yeah.
And
So
then
you
there's
you
this
don't
other
walk
part.
around with possible excuses, because that's what it represents. If you say, they'll just accept my mistakes because I'm black. And
Yeah, and it's just like,
and
I
I'm a
can get
girl.
away with it. I can get away with it. Like, she's young, she's
Jeez.
black, she's pretty. She can really get away with it. So I don't take those chances, because in my space, I constantly have that one shot to take.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I will constantly have that one shot to take, and I have to stay ready.
Is being young an issue? Because you exist in a world of music that is old in its nature, and the people who play it are relatively old. Some of them be playing it for 40 years, long before you were born.
Correct.
Do you find that being young also comes as a challenge?
It used to irk me for the longest time, because I was like, I felt like being young meant I don't have experience, right? So that's why I would drive myself crazy with trying to learn more than I should have at the time, right? Because again, sometimes I'm conducting people who are older than me.
Yeah.
And I'm
Is
saying,
it sometimes or often?
Often.
Okay.
And I'm just saying, I need you to play like this, right? And then there's that, I've been raised to respect my elders. But sometimes I'm just like, I give you that look that's not you're not playing to
you're
this.
not playing
So
it right.
it's sometimes quite challenging, where I have to put on this, okay, Ofentse, now you have to be a conductor that is ageless.
Yes.
Because you really have to conduct this music.
And it's accepted that it's
Yes.
an ageless environment.
Yes, it has to be like an ageless in environment. Only after that you be like, oh yeah, when people are like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad to see someone like you in this space. Then you remember, but it comes after the work that I needed to do.
Oh yes. So you've seen appreciation from musicians that you've conducted, and they say, well done.
Yeah.
That's good. Eh?
Yeah.
How do you react to that?
I only cry at when I'm at home after. I don't cry. I cannot be emotional.
So
on
you've
site.
had that?
Yes.
Where it was like,
yeah,
whoa.
and I've gotten that even from people that I respect, and I'm just like, okay, and I'll just take it in and be like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, I'm getting something right.
Have you and your mentor achieved your goal?
I don't know what his is.
Wow, at some
Well, he
point.
does tell me that he's a proud mentor and seeing everything that has happened. And there's, it's funny. He always says, "Oh, I knew."
Mm.
I'm like, how did you know? I feel like people have just been in on this secret. I didn't play
They should have told you, eh? They should have said, no, we
And they're
don't.
like, no, you are hardworking, you are dynamic, um you are well spoken, and you are very resilient.
Yeah.
There was no way.
It wasn't going to work.
There was no way on God's green earth it was not going to come together.
Jeez.
Yeah.
The Bob Mabena moment, it comes to reality, this phone call. What is the experience? What does the experience mean to you?
As someone who's been a fan, I was just like, I did not even know that my name was in conversations in rooms there,
Yes.
and I was just like, shucks, how did we get here? And again, depending on whatever it is that you believe in, I just felt like God was just in the room. Because why are they calling me? They have not seen any evidence of work.
What do they know about you?
That I came at Power FM at 5 a.m. and I waited my turn because I waited for Bob Mabena to finish his show. I think it ended at 9.
Okay.
I sat there at the canteen. I was like, okay, I'm going to elevator pitch to this guy.
And
I did. He came out, I think it was 9 a.m., whatever. And then he went to make coffee. And then I looked at him and was like, I have about 2.5 minutes. And I went up to him, right? And then my pitch was like, hi, Bob. Imagine this. Imagine like an all-black orchestra, all-black choir. I'm talking 40-member orchestra, like 30-member orchestra, 16-member choir, conducted by a black young female. Have you ever seen that? He's like, come and think of it. You know how he's, come and think of it. I don't think so. And I'm like, my name is Ofentse Pitse. He's like, get out of here. No.
Yeah.
He's like, what? I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, listen, I'm signing off leave forms. So I only have like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this is who I am. And then he was like, whatever you're saying, send it to me via email. Actually, send it to my personal email.
Yeah.
If they win and as and when an opportunity arises, I will call you. Right. But I don't have 2 million to give you right now. But definitely you're onto something. And then I forgot about that because I was like, Grootman forgot about me.
How many weeks, months?
I mean, this was in August. And then the call came in October.
Jeez, it was a while.
So I had forgotten. So when it was like, Messiah Kumete, and I'm like, Messiah Kumete and who? And Bob Mabena. I was like, what? Legit.
So it was in
like,
the back of his mind.
Yes.
He didn't forget.
He did not forget. So he was having conversation with the likes of Judas Supuma about Ofentse Pitse.
And the question is, you wonder how many people did he pitch this to?
I wonder how many people he spoke to until it landed.
Do you want to try this? You want to try that?
Yeah, there's this young girl who came to me in the morning and she said this. I think there's just something about her.
And still, he didn't know your work.
There was no evidence of work. It was just my spirit and my resilience and my persistence.
And you said at this moment, between the pitch and the call, something failed at the Joburg Theatre.
Yeah.
What was that?
I mean, I had this show, right, at the Joburg Theatre where, again, because my big dream was to have these young people finally showcase their talent in a space where you would normally see them. Because, again, they come from this space where they were used to singing in choirs, kuskolong, whatever. So when that opportunity came and I had this one sponsor who was like, definitely.
Let's do
this
it.
sounds... And when you get a yes...
Jeez.
There's just something about a yes.
There are few.
After the wilderness period of your life.
Yeah.
And when you get that yes and you hold on to that yes and you believe this person is really going to open up doors for you, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, cool. Let's do it. And then we had the show. And then again, you have this sponsor who has promised you that definitely I'll give you even more than you need, right, for the show because this is such an important idea. And then after that, AWOL. And
the
then,
sponsor.
Yeah, and then that left me with this whole debt. Because at the end of the day, Majita don't know who you spoke to. They we came to your show, Joe. So I felt like such a failure.
Yeah.
Because again, also I had just lost my mom, and that for me, I wanted a win so much, right? Jeez. And then when that happened, I felt like, nah,
it's not gonna work.
Let me follow her.
Listen to that.
Let's just. Oh, I was ready to go.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We're dealing with a social media post
Mm,
by Dineo Ranaka,
mm,
who said exactly that, really. It reads like someone who is contemplating suicide, or at least asking questions about it. Those who question why it's on a social media post and so forth and so forth. I think it's out there. It's rather it's somewhere than nowhere at all. Because if it's nowhere, it's
Yeah.
action. If it's somewhere, it's a calling for
Yeah.
help. I'd rather there's a call for help than nothing at all.
Mm.
How did you deal with it?
How did I deal with it? It's such a weird story because the person who admitted me, right, was my therapist, Marenzia. So
Yeah.
Marenzia, I actually went to her to say goodbye.
Whoa, you crazy.
Kid you not. I went to Marenzia to say goodbye because she had been carrying me from when my mom passed away. I could not even speak. Like there was a point where I could not talk after my mom passed away because like it hit me, right?
Yeah.
And then Marenzia was doing this work and all that. And then I just went there because I think she was the goodbye that needed me to say it face to face.
Okay.
The rest I was just like I was very arm's length about it. Thank you so much for this. You've been a great friend, whatever, with my friends and all that.
You're just saying stuff like
So
that.
when I went to Marenzia, right, because she's also very tethered to spirit, right? I went there and to say goodbye, and then I remember her saying, I know you're not gonna come back. I cannot let you go. And I'm like, and I was just like, I'm like, huh?
What did
like,
you say?
I know.
Though?
I was just like, Marenzia, thank you so much. I was just having like general conversation with her, right? I'm like, yo, man, remember when I came here? And I just did not even know how to speak, and you worked through all there were times where Marenzia was like, I know you cannot afford to be here, but I need to see you every week.
Wow.
Right? That's how much invested she was in my healing, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, it was really like you would not even tell that I was contemplating my exit, right?
Well, wait. You couldn't tell.
Yes, right. So I went there, and then she was like,
picked something up.
She was like, okay, I have a feeling that you are planning something.
You see?
And then
she could pick up.
Yeah, I cannot let you go.
Wow.
She made the calls while I was sitting with her, and I was with the clothes on my back. I remember what I was wearing. I was wearing like this burgundy top and this skinny jean, right? And then she was like, I'm not letting you leave. She called the Uber and was like to the driver, listen, I need you to take this girl to this place. When you get there, she's gonna get this person who's gonna get she's gonna arrive there, and there's gonna be this person at the door. The driver was like,
she looked fine. You looked fine.
Okay. No? The driver was like, okay. And I was like, shucks, what a weird driver. Why would you not say no? So clothes on my back.
Why did you go along with what she was asking to happen?
Because I was taught to respect people.
You had your own plan. To be honest,
respect, man.
You had your own rebellious plan.
Yeah.
Of an exit.
Yeah.
And you got into the Uber. Who did she call? You willing to tell us who did she call?
She called her psychiatrist. No, because she's a therapist. So she was calling her psychiatrist friend to get me a letter. So what she wrote was a letter to corroborate why I need a psychiatrist letter to be admitted. Yes. Right. So she wrote it. I even remember what she said, severe depression and suicide ideation. What? She had lost a mother. I even have it like somewhere in the archive. And then I was like, when she wrote that, I was like, okay, cool. This is nerve-wracking, right? And then called an Uber.
Did you think you were found out when the letter was written? It was like, damn it. Somebody found me out.
I did.
Yeah.
And I remember even saying to the Uber driver, please drop me off wherever. I just want to go home. And he was like, no, I was told to take you there. And he was very like, no.
Wow.
Because also she was following the trip on Uber, right?
Oh yeah, she could see what was going on. The Uber driver was godsend. I've had terrible Uber drivers. If you had my Uber driver,
I was like, So you can imagine I'm there in the car and I'm just like, oh, this Uber guy. That's when I was like, I'd rather have that other option of just exiting than this one of now having to deal with this.
And you went ahead with it.
Yeah.
Well, obviously. Look at you.
Yeah, I mean, I was there and I was just like, hey, Joe, I guess we are here. And, that entire process was also like,
I can only imagine.
There's like prescriptions, there's this, there's that, and then you're in a room where you see that okay, people are dealing with more than you, and you're trying to invalidate what you're going through. You're like, shucks, man, people are screaming,
Yeah.
because they're hearing things in their mind and all that. And you're just like, I'm here. I think that made me feel even worse. I'm like, I'm here.
Yes, this is my life.
Yo, honestly, I'm here.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
They say if you were to write your problems on a cardboard,
Mm.
and hold it at the side of the road, and everybody else came to write theirs, you'll probably look at yours and say, it's fine, let me go. Fold it and just go home and watch TV.
Yeah.
You'll realize that it's bad,
Yeah.
but there's people dealing with worse.
Yeah. But I knew if I was going to go home, I had a suicide corner. Do you understand like how planned?
This is crazy.
Yeah, it was.
And
I knew if I was going to go home, it was this.
it was going to happen.
It was going to happen. Oh, it was going to happen for sure.
Is it possible that the trip with the Uber driver, you were happy it was happening somewhere in the back of your mind?
No, I wasn't.
You didn't want it to happen.
I did not want that to happen.
Because you were clear.
Yeah. I think after that, I don't remember if I turned off my phone or whatever because I'm just like thinking, does she have my uncle's numbers? Because I don't like family now prying and all that because I'm just like, there's certain things that people don't understand. They'd be like, man, you feel like
Wetsang.
you
I know.
Yeah, so it's just like, you know how we are in our community, like as blacks, we're just like, Oscar, like, Tidia ka se thaba bona o le yana.
You know
And
what I
just like,
mean?
oh my gosh, I'm going through a lot. Don't tell me that.
I see this black family rushing in,
Mm.
saying,
And they're just like, and batlo chica.
that's the thing. How would you
And they're just like,
they don't understand what the hell is wrong with you.
guys, let me exit. Because like, you're not understanding.
You
You're
didn't
not
have that experience.
understanding.
They didn't call uncles.
I mean, they just called my uncle who's a doctor, and then he was like, okay, please go ahead.
Okay.
Right. So because he was all the way in Bloemfontein, right?
Yeah,
And he was
but
like,
whatever you have to do.
Please go ahead. Whatever has to be done, sharp.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Because this story would not have been written.
Hey, man. Thank God. How do you feel now? What's your state of mind?
I think my state of mind is okay. Like, I look at everything that has happened for me and through me. I think the through me is the important one, where now you have parents like saying, listen, I showed this to my daughter.
Yeah.
I showed this to my daughter and I was not sure because as a parent, I wanted them to take something conventional to study. But I saw you and I read about you and I'm in tears because this is so clear. I just need to be some more supportive. And I'm like, for me to do that to other parents so that they can be what my mother was to me.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. This thing is happening through me. There's the to me and then there's the through me.
And the through you is always much, much, much bigger.
Yeah.
Because it impacts a society.
Definitely. And not just the diaspora across the world. I think I'm okay today. I want to get some bubble tea.
I know where to get one.
Please give me some bubble tea. Bubble tea is what I need right now.
What's so special about it?
The delicacy of it all, right? It's just like so intricate, like it's so unique, right? I'm attracted to things that stand out and they are one of one. So there's just something about bubble tea that's a delicacy, right? That you don't just find it on the counter.
No.
Yes.
That's why you have to help us find
exactly.
it. That's why my last words to my nephew was good luck. Because
you don't find it on the counter.
He has to go search. Do they have bubble tea at KFC?
Nope.
At Nando's?
Nope.
At Woolies?
Nope. You have to go to like an Asian, Japanese, Taiwanese place.
Okay. There's enough around here.
All right.
Yes, there's a lot of where there's a lot of humans.
Is there like a Chinatown here?
No, but there's enough of different people that you will find.
Okay.
And I know we saw bubble tea.
Approved.
5 minutes away from. Oh, I feel like we are being tested.
Let's see if you'll pass.
Jeez, man.
I'll bring my own orchestra.
Yeah, imagine that.
Like an entire orchestra show. How about that?
What's the biggest show you've done so far? Even you felt, whoa. And it may not have been big in size of crowd, but it's probably big in how you define size. Let's hear how you would have defined size.
The biggest show.
to you?
I did Bidvest.
Okay. Yes. That's
The
it.
Bidvest
We
corporate.
find it
Yeah.
when we research you. It
Yes,
comes out.
yes. The
Yes.
Bidvest corporate gig, because again I was introducing this idea of an African orchestra.
Mhm.
So I flew these 3 kora players, right, who are originally from West Africa,
Okay.
right? And then they have like these careers in Europe. So Jali Keba, Suso, Sefo Kanute, as well as Mamadou Drame. And I was like, I want 3 kora players, not from Joburg.
Sound like you're so demanding.
Oh,
It's like putting up a bubble tea.
yes, it's just like bubble. So you understand how intricate I am
Yes.
about how things need to be,
Yes.
right? So I was like, I need these guys to be part of this orchestra. And the whole concept of the orchestra was like an African Coachella.
Okay. Wow. I get
Right.
that.
So
Yes.
for me, I had these 35 musicians on the stage, right?
Mhm.
And then there were dancers, there was like a lot of movement happening, and then there was this conductor.
There she is.
There was Ofentse, who had to put all of these things together.
Wow.
And the most important or dynamic thing about it, we did Huma Sikela Stimela from poem to solos.
Oh.
And Lindani Kosi did the poem, There's a Train
Ah.
Traveling from Namibia to
Yes.
Malawi.
Oh.
Ah,
Boom.
bum,
Boom.
bum, bum, bum,
Oh.
So that again, it felt just like a full circle Huma Sikela moment for me, because
Yes.
beyond the Huma Sikela era was that my grandfather, being one of the founders of the Jazz Maniacs, who was one of the first brass bands, Goso
Jeez.
Fire Town.
Imagine
And
that.
now he also was, in contact, because Nelebo Kipi, was it Kipi
Kipi
Moeketsi?
Moeketsi,
Yes.
yes.
Those were my granddad's people.
You sound like you are 49.
When 50,
something.
60. So understanding that I was honoring that era. So it just felt like I was putting my granddad on this space, and
yeah.
also saying salute to your Huma Sikelas, right? And being in this grand space. That was so important for me.
Where do you think, when you look at your life and the people around you, some here, some gone, you got your music from? Because it's not your mom's. Your mom's taking you to the kitchen party was merely a trigger. The music was already there. So where do you think you found it from? When you look at the history, or is it granddad?
Conductor Pitse, man, it had to be Auto Pitse.
Yeah.
Auto Mutane Pitse.
That's where it comes from.
That has to be where it came from.
Yeah.
Because like, why did it land on me? Why not my cousins? Why not go to Milibo Pellets?
Could have gone anywhere.
It could have gotten anywhere, and it was like, we landing ko Ofentse.
Yeah.
And I just think I have like I was saying, I have just a certain understanding that I cannot put in words when it comes to this.
Have you seen Q as in Quincy Jones's documentary?
Yes, of course.
What is it about it that stood out for you?
Nadine Boulanger, who was his mentor, right? And I mean, that again, the concept of how important mentors are.
Yeah.
I was like, no wonder Quincy is who he is.
Yes.
He had the likes of Nadine. Good God. And so having gone there and being taught how to write, and I mean, Nadine was teaching the grades, your Dvorak's and whatever. So having seen that, and I was like, that's why even his interpretation to music became, what it was.
Yeah.
And he was very meticulous, and he was non-negotiable about his output.
And what he was hearing.
So that's why when Off the Wall came out,
Yeah.
Quincy Jones already knew that this was it.
Was going to work.
Because he understood what was required, right? So for me, understanding as an artist that when you put in certain things, right, certain inputs in your work, you definitely know that without a doubt, this is going to be a hit.
Yeah.
This is going to land. This is going to be iconic.
What stood out for me, and this is a layman's perspective, is he was so diverse. I didn't get that. I couldn't understand it.
Yeah, because he went from your Motown type of feel to brass band, big bands, and then he was doing orchestral stuff and then with
Yes,
string
yes.
arrangements and all that.
And then pop.
pop, boom, dum, 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 dum. And it's just like, oh my goodness.
That for me.
Mm,
So the ability to do what you do
mm,
comes with a skill to create as well, because that's
mhm,
what it is.
mhm,
You're creating a thing.
mhm,
Do you have to have the ability to write
mm.
the music from scratch, from a
Yeah.
blank paper like this, and you have to create something?
I mean, I had to get to a point where which I am right now, a point where I'm able to arrange and orchestrate music. Again, that came with I need to learn to not just become a basic. I just know how to conduct. So when I learned how to play the piano, it was for me to understand how to put things together, how to work around musical ideas. So I'll have in my head chord structure. Sometimes I wake up and I have certain rhythms in my head, right? And then I'll take my phone and I'm like, okay, I'm imagining and that's
These
that's like the strings
okay.
or the cello so I imagine that and I will record it on my phone, right?
Yeah.
Or sometimes I'll be like, this could be a nice chord to use, right, in a song, and then after that I add this other chord, right? And then I'll be like, okay, who's taking the lead? Is it the strings that are taking the lead, or do I want the winds, or are they sharing? Is it a 2-part harmony? So
Wow.
there's that, right? So I'm
And
able
you
to come.
you come
I
up
am.
with these.
Yeah.
Because my imagination of it is someone who creates from zero
Mhm.
and then stages.
Mm.
Like I'm taking a few months off, but I'm going to. It's a creative a break.
Mhm.
When you come back, you've created a show or two.
Mm.
You've written, and you're bringing this thing together.
Yeah.
You're calling all these West African people to come and help you. Is it the type of world that you exist in?
Yes, because I have certain ideas, right, that are manifesting as the expressions that I'm doing now.
Okay.
So my imagination of what I see orchestra to be is what is manifesting in my life and in my career, right? So the work that is out there is something that had already started with me 2019, 2020, where I was planning, like we were planning what I am going to go out there with as a
Yeah.
conductor. So this is not luck.
No, it's
Mm-mm.
There's thinking.
There was a
here.
strategy behind this.
Yes.
There was a strategy behind this, right?
Yeah.
And so there was always this is how I would like to create. This is how I would like to dismantle certain systems. This is
Yeah.
how I would like to represent the work that I am doing. I just did not think it would be at this scale.
Oh, so it's bigger.
It's bigger than what I had imagined, or it took a different turn from the route that I imagined, that, oh, I'm going to do this. And then after doing this, it was going to, because when I accepted the gift, when I was like, okay, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, I'm a conductor. We are conducting now, Ofentse. And after that, I was like, okay, how are we doing it? That's when we mapped out the how.
route now.
Yeah, the route. Very important.
And I'm sitting here curious if it's a good way of life. And I ask this financially and things like that because I exist in a world of a lot of musicians because of my radio career, and I have studios, so there's a lot of that. And more often than not, you find that Artu say, Arfa studio yana for 3 weeks, for 3 days. It's a lot of that kind of stuff. In your world, how does it look? Is it a financially stable environment? And look, you can say no. You are allowed.
I mean, orchestra is expensive. Already you know which market it caters
speaks
for.
to.
It speaks to. It
Yeah.
speaks for the market that is able to drop off their kids in a Porsche.
Of course.
All right. And then they're
then
able to...
when the kid is in matric, they buy them a Porsche.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where they have a grand piano at home.
Yes.
They have
I
a
got
Steinway
you.
or Yamaha at home.
Yes.
That is the environment, like that is the market,
The world
that my world speaks to, right? So here's Ofentse trying to make it a majority black thing,
Okay.
whose roots, with the context co-locationing, it's the hood.
Yes, true.
Right. So who's gonna finance this? So here I am having to finance this from the little that I'm getting in architecture.
Sure.
Right. And hence why then you meet certain people who will promise you, that I will invest in this. This is great. And then they'll drop you like it's nothing, not understanding that shucks.
Ish.
This has been my world for so long.
Yeah.
Right. So it's quite an expensive space. That's why I'm not really doing what I want to do, because you need people who are gonna collaborate with you and be like, okay, how much do you need? Okay, what's the ROI on that? Okay, send it to us. Okay, this is definitely what we need to get into.
Yeah.
So I need those people, right? Which
Who will believe?
Who will believe far beyond the company
Yeah.
policy. Sometimes you just have to believe that this is important for Africa and the arts.
Yes.
So we don't get enough of those people.
When you spoke of calling West African artists, I saw money. I saw cost.
Yes.
Yeah, and not in a bad way. I
Yes.
said, whoa. It's not like you're...
Nah.
And they're not here for a day. They're here for a little bit because they have to practice with
course.
everybody else and then know the
There's
song.
flights, there's stadiums, there's accommodation.
there's-
But again, because it was a corporate,
Yeah,
so the
that's-
corporate, I was like, I saw the idea. I was like, listen,
And
this
they
is
played
how
along.
we're gonna express this thing. And they're like, Ofentse, are you sure? I was like, dead serious.
And they got you.
They believed in me.
So you need more of those.
I need more of those.
It's not
Because
easy.
if it was not for that, I wouldn't have been able to create, because that was an iconic show that I did. It was just
Yeah.
like, it was a very private show. So, but if the world could have seen that in real time, they would have been like,
Okay.
shucks, in our lifetime.
This is happening. Was it filmed?
Yes, but again, it was very private.
Yeah,
It's a
but...
private gig, but yeah, there was a bit of filming here and there, but it was not really.
Any phone, yeah.
Yeah, and so, but the content is not really available. I think the client has the content.
Of course.
Yes, because obviously it's their event,
It's
but
their
it's not on
content.
YouTube. I wish people would see it. I
You wish it was.
Yeah,
eh?
I mean, there was Nomcebo. We did like an entire medley with Nomcebo in Jerusalem and all that with the orchestra. I need you to
What?
understand what the
Nobody's
show
seen
is.
that?
Yes, I did that with Nomcebo.
Can't you recreate it? It'll cost.
Fund it. You need to fund it for me.
Yeah. No, you-
But
I have other problems. Have you seen when you're driving in here? Trust me, I sometimes feel like a bit more than I can chew. God save me from my bricks.
Brickwork.
Jeez. So this is a costly life.
Oh my goodness.
But the way you described it as a world of so many rich people, essentially, surely there should be a lot of people who are, well, on paper, it looks like there should be enough people to say, okay, this is great stuff.
They're not coming to us.
Are
Do
you
you know
going
them?
to them?
Do you know them?
I know one or
Escape
two.
list.
I
Tlisa
know-
list.
I know one or two.
Send the hit.
I don't know them that
Give us
way.
the hit lists.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing about South Africa today is that even people who have money, they're cautious because it's such a unsettled.
Volatile.
Yeah, it's an unsettled little time within this country. So when you have 20 rand and everybody else has 2 rand, you hold on to the 20 rand
Because you don't
want to
get to the 2 rand stage.
No,
right?
and you just because you're not sure what's going to happen tomorrow, and that's the reality of a lot of people who have a bit of cash. Right now they say, "Nah, I ain't done."
You sometimes, Tyler Perry mentioned this at one of his, he was winning some award. He was like, I've had so many people to help me cross. And at times you just need someone to help you cross. Bob Mabena helped me cross.
He did.
He didn't have 2 million rand.
No, but he knew someone. And like I said earlier, Ori, I wonder how many people did he pitch you to?
So it's help for me. It's like, who can get us to cross?
That's it.
It's not always monetary,
Do you feel the music is supported enough though in the country? Your world of music.
I mean, there are other orchestras who I definitely look up to, who have donors, private sponsors, and all that. The really affluent families who have been funding, the
These
cause.
type
So
of
they don't even have
things.
to go out to ticket. They don't even have to be like, "Ish, we're doing PR. We need to really sell tickets." They're operating.
whatever
proper
happens.
operation.
Yeah.
They can do whatever show that they want to do, right? And that's a blessing in itself, right? So I think to have, again, that is private support, most of it.
Yes.
It's not the Department of this,
No.
that, and the other, right? It's literally people who, because that's what they do in Europe, where families will fund
The
this art.
Ruppets. We'll say.
They will literally fund the orchestra or the arts, your Michelangelos, your whatever's,
Yes.
because they want that to be a sustainable thing and a continuous thing that fuels back into the country's economy.
That's
what
it.
happens in Europe.
Yeah.
Monday to Thursday,
Sure.
again from Friday to Sunday, there's a production happening.
Yeah, there's no
with
quiet
the full
time.
orchestra. And I'm talking Europe, they do 62 to 120. Their
That's
numbers,
crazy.
and these are professionals. They go to get, that's the 9 to 5. We don't have that here.
So there are people who play this and that's all they do.
That is all they do.
They wake up in the morning to go and be a part of this orchestra.
Yes.
And then next week they're part of another one.
Because each and every time they're having seasons. So right now it's probably because we are in winter right now, and if we had the same structures that exist in Europe, we'll probably right now be doing Vivaldi seasons, and maybe we'll be doing winter.
What does that look like?
I mean, winter is that you book a theater, you go out to ticket, put the posters up, say, listen, we're doing Vivaldi's work, and we're doing, this,
That's
we're doing seasons.
Come.
Right? Come. And people, because they love seasons, whatever, they will go, and then you go there and then maybe get a wine sponsor, whatever.
That kind.
You go there, you consume this beautiful music. You worry less about the potholes, whatever, because, I mean,
in that
it's,
few minutes.
Yeah, it's literally an emotional and a mental thing that you just, music has the power, especially orchestral music, to do that. And if we saw it as that in this country,
we don't have that.
What a wonderful world.
What you've just described, we don't have at all.
Nix.
Do we have enough members of an orchestra? As in that boy, that girl that's ready to play and they're just not getting the opportunity?
The opportunity is what is lacking.
Yes, but the people are there.
Yeah, but the issue with then the opportunity is that you may be a great violinist, but because you're not getting booked, you decide to go into corporate.
Okay.
And you are working at APSA.
Yes.
From the morning until when are you checking your notes?
So you're no longer, it's not a career
No,
anymore.
You're not checking your notes. You're not playing, your skill. Because again, with these things, every day you need to be on it.
Your fingers must get used to it.
If you're playing the trumpet, your embouchure must get used to it. Your mouthpiece must know you every day. Wow. So now you are working corporate.
Because there's nothing else.
So
there's a lot of you, so to speak, who are players, who are your ensemble, and they go to work every day. They're in a taxi, they're
knocking off now, going home.
Yes.
And then when you go home, you are exhausted. When are you going to touch your instrument?
And you don't even have the right environment to blow that thing loud.
If we had the economy, if we have the creative economy in this country, it would be so wonderful, because then we would have the most excellent of musicians.
Is this the same thing for white kids in the country? Do they go through the same challenges?
Not really. And again, I believe that it's because they have the structures that support. So they have the family support where your family will be like, oh, you want to be a musician? You want to be a professional pianist? Okay. Whatever you need, we'll make sure that, so there's no pressure of you have to ensure that your baby cousin goes to high school.
True.
This, that, and the other, right? So they are able to have facilities that allow them to really be happy with playing that instrument, be happy with rehearsing, and not having to stress about, I should say that most of them have that, but also some of them struggle because, the environment is strife. We don't have enough theater plays where you people are filling up the state theater
every week.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it's different maybe in Cape Town, because there's so many shows that are happening. Cape Town Artscape and Cape Town Philharmonic is really holding it down, right? But then other than that, there's just this struggle.
Do you feel like you should be playing in the political space of the struggle as well, as a young black person?
Me?
Yeah.
How am I going to play in the political space?
No, the political space of your industry. To be the voice that highlights, like Lewis Hamilton, who says, but this is wrong. We need more support. Because the minute you become a beacon, you can just stay bright and everybody looks at you and think you're great. Or you can be a beacon of hope as well, where you're bright and you're saying, I won't just shine, I will help others come along and shine with me.
But I feel like that's exactly what I've been trying to do. So that's why I've been very intentional about, okay, if my own space will not create that environment for me where I'm just like, listen, these musicians actually need more of support. Then I was like, okay, who can fund these type of things? That's why I went to luxury brands.
Yes.
Like,
Say,
that's why I went to those brands. I was like, actually, I think because you guys have the buying power.
let's do
How
this.
about, so that's why you see me working with a lot of luxury brands, and even the
Yeah.
bookings I get, it's luxury brands wanting to have me sort of like curate something orchestral. But otherwise, in the space itself, the classical
In
space,
the everyday.
there is no one's gonna put in
Wow.
like a large investment right now.
What
It'd
is
be great to get it.
Yeah, what is your big dream?
Big dream.
Where you say, yeah, I've arrived. I'm good now. Maybe it's not even here in this country, and
It's not here in
we
this
accept
country.
that. I promise you. You know, I'm so quick to say there's so much wrong we've done. I'm happy for Trevor Noah to go and not come back.
You're happy for Tuso to go
Up and never come back.
never come back.
And I say this because I like people like that, because they'll always say I'm South African, and great. And like Abdullah Ibrahim lives in Germany. He's great.
Rothman has been in Germany.
Yes, he's great. He's great. And I say we can't keep this patriotism that gives us nothing. You know. And I'm proud for them to go and say, but I'm South African. I'm only South African. You know, if there's one person who's helped our brand, South Africa, for the past 7-10 years, it's Trevor Noah. He's done so well.
With his chest.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm South African. I'm South African. And that for me is like, oh, man, why lock yourself in this little complicated setup we got going here?
And we're missing so many great opportunities. Like you mentioned, Abdullah. I remember I used to have this, I think I still do, this childhood dream of just doing an entire orchestration, right? An entire offering in concert form of the whole Abdullah Abraham experience, dollar brand.
Sure. Imagine that.
You know, SA doesn't want it, ne? Is that what it is?
We are busy. No, we are busy. Now I understand.
Woo.
We are busy. You call me now and say, let's meet. And I am a senior government official. Chief, just wait, man. I have this other meeting. We are busy. And what do you want to do again? What do you need? Orchestra.
Sure.
You understand? Yeah.
So you know, it's like Sakawateg and Don.
No.
Yeah.
Gunama potholes.
Yo.
That's where we are. Exactly. So that's why I still want to know your big dream. And like I said, it doesn't have to be here.
My big dream, not just from a representation point of view, but from the meticulous artistry that this artist has, to do a live show with Beyonce.
Whoa.
Not an album, but a live show with Beyonce.
And
I would love to share a space where, because she's extremely meticulous at what she does. No nonsense, non-negotiable. And I consider myself to be the same, right? So to have those two worlds collide and come together and see what we can create, for me, it's, I would say, at the top of the list of the other things that form part of my dream.
And is this a touring event?
It can be a touring event, or it can just be like we are just curating it just once. You just be like,
watch
there
it,
you go.
enjoy it.
Yeah, but
and let's move on.
To do that also just from a skills level, not just because it's a Beyonce, but to just test how meticulous I am with what I do. I think it really is either Elton John or Beyonce.
Yes.
I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's big. Do you believe it? Do you believe it's possible?
Yeah.
A call from Alicia Keys. Was it from her or from someone, from a manager?
People literally think she's on my iMessage. Hey, who said she called me?
Okay. Well, how did that come about?
So the Alicia Keys project, or larger scale Queen Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
It came about from there's this phenomenal woman, right? Chi, who's the founder of the first orchestra, majority people of color orchestra in the
I
UK.
think you made reference to. She's one of the first black, the
Yes,
real
right.
first.
Listen,
Yes, yeah.
so she has, majority all black, or majority people of color orchestra in the UK. She reached out to me. She was like, "Listen, you were recommended. There's this streaming what is this? A streaming site, right? Streaming platform.
It's during COVID. Yes.
This is December.
Oh, this is as recent
December,
as that.
January, actually.
Yes, yeah.
January, like literally the beginning of the year. And streaming platform. We are recording a song celebrating a certain artist's 20 year celebration of this song, right? It's going to feature a global female orchestra.
Yeah.
Are you available to come to London in April? I'm like, I mean, you had me at female global.
No Alicia at
Not
this
yet.
moment. No one is saying
So
anything.
they're like NDA. The artist is NDA, but are you available?
Oh.
So they didn't want to let me know who it was, and I was just like, who could it be? And I was like, yeah, I think I'm available.
Was it at all a difficult decision? Or was it like, yes, of course?
For me, I was just hooked by the fact that it's global female orchestra. I was like, okay, I was recommended.
Yes.
My name being in rooms that I never thought, I would be in, right? So that conversation happened, and then a few days after that, Netflix Africa reached out. They were like, we want you to reimagine Two-Face Adiba's African Queen. Not only will you be conducting this, and we'll be shooting the music video at the top of Table Mountain, so a black girl at the edge of a rock on Table Mountain conducting the dice. Like, I'm literally looking over the ocean. I'm looking into Africa, right? And this song is going to feature Msaki representing us here in SA, Nikita Kering representing Kenya, and Fave representing, the Afrobeat masters there in Nigeria. And then I was like, yeah, this would be great. So I literally reimagined the song. So what you hear is literally okay, this is what we can do, this is what we can do. And then even in the beginning of the song, you hear my clan names, right? So I was very intentional about the interpretation of the song. And then a few days after, then the NDA people are like, yeah, it's actually Netflix Global. and
this is the artist.
Alicia Keys, right? And we're gonna jump onto a team. She's very busy. Are you available? Like, yeah, we'll move things around. And had the teams meeting with Alicia Keys. And again, when she jumped onto the call, she was like, hi, it's Alicia. I could hear that, okay, now we're not playing. This is really her. This is not, I said Jets. I said Chat, GPT.
Yeah,
it's not AI.
They're
No,
not
it was
lying.
really her.
Yeah.
It was really her. So, and she was like, the things that I've seen about you and read are so phenomenal. Wow. Like, this is such a big deal. And, as the conductor, obviously you have to bring everything together. What can I do to make sure that you are as comfortable as what do you need? And I'm like, you are Alicia Keys, just give me the score.
That's all I need.
That's all I need. I'm a conductor, just give me the score so that I know what we're working on. But she was like, I need to make sure that before I speak to the arranger, I know what you need so that I can ensure that you are as comfortable. I was just like, she's centering this thing around me, right?
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
It's your show.
Right? Cool. And then again, she had 5 options of conductors.
What?
There's only Ofentse, right? I understand that. I was the furthest. I was Visa. Furthest and Visa.
What?
The whole chat with the visas, right? The other conductors, they don't own, their own orchestras, but they're conductors of color. So you're Hispanic and whatever. And there's also the likes of Kalina Boval, who's African American conductor. So I think after a few hours, it was confirmed that Alicia definitely wants you.
What? You still don't know why, compared to
because I'm just
the other greats.
I know I'm good at what I do, but these guys have been doing so many things with orchestras that I even look up to.
For so long.
For her to pick Ofentse based on the fact that she just had a good feeling about me, and I guess also whatever she was seeing, my evidence of work, convinced her that I'm a unique conductor. Yeah. And again, I need you to remember, she's classically trained.
Of course.
She's a classical pianist.
Yes.
So it was not based on, she looks good. It was also,
The
terms of
music.
merit.
Yes, the music.
She can hear if I'm conducting this. That's off. That's that's too high pitched, or whatever. So that was a great honor for me. So that's how the project came together. And I was like, I definitely think I'm moving things around, right? So literally went to London, did If I Ain't Got You, was there for a week and a half. So rehearsals, recording. So what you hear, it's me. I put that together.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
That's a special moment.
Big story.
That's why when I say don't worry about us.
Okay.
You understand?
I get it.
Because those calls, surely they'll happen. There was a Bob Mapena call.
Yeah.
Those calls.
There was a Bob call.
Yes, those calls will happen.
Yeah.
Because the more your story goes out, there are other people who find you. And I think there's something special about us in South Africa, musically. Whether it's our dance or whether there's something we are able to do that captures the world. I watch a lot of DJs playing sets, and there was one who plays my piano in London. And there's another lady in France who plays my piano. And I said, there's something about us that is loved. And that's really why your brand / South Africa in brackets will grow and go bigger.
Yeah.
Because clearly there's something that international market is looking for here, and we have it.
Yes.
Did they like it?
Definitely, right? Because there's a certain way I approach the music and the score, right? So there's a certain section in a verse, right, of If I Ain't Got You, where I needed the brass section to move in a certain way. So I was doing this like I was da 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 da. That is very South African. That
Yes.
It's almost like, I'm doing that what do they call it? That what is that thing that they do in the Zulu culture?
Yes, I see that.
You see that thing, yeah? Yeah, I'm not Zulu, so yeah. So I was doing that so that they know ta pa ta 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 ta. And when I was doing that while we were recording, Alicia was like, she's like, I really like that. And I was just like, shucks, South Africa.
Yeah.
That's not written.
How was the personal meeting for you?
She was phenomenal. So I went into the room. So the introducer was myself and a few other ladies who were part of the music video, right? So when I went in, she was asking everyone, oh, where you from? Nah, nah, nah. And then I walked and she looked at me. She was like, South Africa. I was like, you know it. She was like, South Africa. So she was asking everyone else, where are you from? But for me, she knew me.
Yes.
And I felt so seen. She was like, let me just, speak to these ones because I know you. Right?
Yeah, I'll come to you.
Don't worry, right? And then even in between the takes of the music video, right? And like shooting the music video, she would come to me and then we'll have conversations like just in between ourselves, like just her and I, and then we'll be talking like this and then, laughing in between. And then even in between those takes, right? There was moments where she was on the piano. Because, this is a big production. So they're changing lenses 5 times.
Yeah.
There's a guy who has to now help this other guy switch it like that, and then there's a guy who has this camera on his waist, and then they have to help him take it up. So all of that is happening. I'm just like, there's a lot of just a music video that's gonna be edited to 4 minutes, right?
That's it. It's a movie production.
It's a movie. Yeah, you have Diane Martel who is behind this whole thing, and everything has to be super meticulous. In between takes, I have makeup artists making sure that
you're still fresh.
Even when there's a thread here, they're like, okay, let's take this off. And I'm like, you won't see that in editing. They're like, mm-mm. So
we don't want to deal with it.
So then she plays the diary.
Yes. Whoa.
I think I didn't understand that this is Alicia Keys until she went there.
Started playing.
When she played the diary, and I'm like, songs in A minor. Then she's not singing, she's going and I look at her because I had line of sight. So I'm here as the conductor. Her grand piano is there, so she starts I look at her and we're doing this.
That's her move.
So she's like so I'm here with her, right? And I'm just like, are you doing this because you understand how significant this moment is? Because I'm remembering that Alicia, for real. When she did that, I realized that, okay, wait.
Do you know who I am?
This is, I'm literally with Alicia Keys, right? And then after that, I said to her, I was like, hey, Alicia. She's like, huh? I'm like, remember when you said, can I take your order? She's like, huh? I'm like, remember when you said, can I take your order?
Yeah.
And then she starts playing You Don't Know My Name.
You don't know my name.
So she's smiling, she's geeking out. She's like, that was a nice segue. She's go bum 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 bum
Yes.
bum
Wow.
bum dun, dun, dun. So again, her and I here, I'm like, you don't know my name. And it's like her and I having this moment, right? And she was like, that was a good segue. So it was that chemistry that it was natural. Like you even see it in the music video where there's
Yes.
moments where I'm looking at her, she's looking at me, and she even spoke very highly of me in the whole promo. She was like, you know, the conductor is this beautiful South African woman who said that this moment feels like we are riding on our ancestors' backs. She quoted me
Jeez, man.
exactly verbatim.
Surely that felt like the world is now in your
Yeah,
hands.
that felt like a rubber stamp. Like, okay,
We're
I'm
done
being
now.
vetted by Alicia. Okay, cool.
That's where we close it.
My lord, your grace.
So nice and warm. Via Joe, sharp. Via. Not sharp, go next time you see her, she'll have an LA address.
Plus 44. Plus 44 is London, right? Let's start in London because at least my visa is
Do
still
that.
spanning.
Oh, they do
That's
that.
Spana visa.
Do that. And
Right.
I certainly hope you get a lot of the Alicia type calls. To a point where you're like Black Cove. It's like, Puff,
Yeah, sure.
Puff just called me. I
Yeah,
missed
sure.
Puff Daddy's call.
Yeah, I'll call him back later. I missed Drake's call.
You see?
She's like, did you just say Drake?
Yeah, I'll call him. Yeah.
Answer Drake's call.
You see? Like
Yeah.
I do with presidents. I Ramaphosa ufuna imali futhi.
Ish ngizombona ish nine ish. Funa ukuthi ngimshonise.
Take care, man. Ke
Thank you so much.
I hope the tea
Kulebogile
is
mina.
here. Kulebogile wena, man. Kulebogile.
All right, is the tea here?
Really? No way.
Let me
Go
let me
check, go
it.
check, go
Ish,
check.
I just please. If the bubbles are not black, just don't come back.
King David Studio Podcast.